This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Stress shows up in lots of ways. Teeth grinding, digestive issues, lack of sleep, and more. Sound familiar? Visit betterhelp.com/allies and find ways to lower your stress.
Hello. Welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. On his phone is Michael Huber.
Did you know that Alone in the Dark was the first 3D survival horror game?
Nice. I think I did, but
Cool.
still good to have a confirmation.
I played it when I was like 5 years old. When I was 5 years old playing Alone in the Dark, I did not know that it was the first 3D survival horror game.
All right.
Right. Well, I mean, we hadn't invented a genre yet.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
you're
were just
living
playing
it.
Alone
Yeah,
in the
you-
Dark.
Exactly. Just playing a game. That's it. Didn't think about those things.
Yeah, like we'll get to Metroidvania a little bit later, like that didn't
Ooh.
exist, when the first quote-unquote Metroidvanias were around.
Yeah.
Michael Damiani over
How's
there
it going, everyone?
on the far side of the desk. In our control room, we have Isla Hink
Hi.
and Gabby in the back.
She waves.
Friends, we're here to discuss some of the biggest headlines in video games this week. The Embracer Group is basically Kirby now, swallowing everything in its path.
Gobble, gobble.
Alone in the Dark is back, which is what Huber was checking out there.
Absolutely is.
And Call of Duty does not care if you prefer a physical copy anymore. But before we get started, we must answer for the mistakes we made in the last episode.
Buckle
Isla,
up.
begin corrections music, please. Almost all of these are Splatoon related. There's a lot of details I got wrong with Splatoon last week. Mostly about whether certain things were new. Some of it's pretty detailed, so this is not comprehensive. I won't risk compounding a mistake on top of a mistake. But here are some of the bigger takeaways. Splatoon's team crosses over with members of the Animal Crossing team.
I said that
You did?
during the episode.
Got
Yeah,
it.
I
I
said
always
that.
said Mario Kart, but I wasn't sure. I always get it mixed up, and the only thing I can remember is that I always get it mixed up every time. I looked over at Damiani, and I got kind of nothing. I just kind of got a blank stare.
I was waiting for the CEO of Nintendo to answer here. It was like, you got the payroll over there.
So there's that. Clam Blitz is not a new mode. That was added in in the same year as Splatoon 2 came out. Private battles have been a thing since the beginning of the series.
Nice.
But ghosts are new.
Okay.
One of the hosts' names is Fry, not Fire, which I had right in my notes, but I think because the other one was named Shiver.
Shiver, yeah.
I ended up with Shiver and Fire instead of Shiver and Fry.
Fry. That's fine.
Yeah. And then my suggestion to replace Salmon Run was not taken well.
Whoa.
People are big fans of Salmon Run. So.
Yikes.
Don't mess with their modes.
Yeah.
That's not a correction. That's just an opinion.
Well, I think the assertion I made was that people weren't into it because of the people that I had played it with at the time, and because we had difficulties. Remember with the Switch local wireless garbage.
Blood, I make it a point
Yeah.
to remember nothing.
Anyways, we could have had a better time with Salmon Run under different conditions. Hopefully this time around we will. The Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet we discussed last week does have a price. I just missed it somehow. It runs for $599.99.
Did we not? We didn't say the price?
$599.
I thought it wasn't listed
US
yet.
dollars.
I saw a pre-order button. I didn't
Those
see
are
anything
expensive.
else. But yeah,
I'm
Pricey.
pretty sure we said it ran in the price range of like what they were, which is like around $500, $600
Yeah.
bucks, which is not the price people want. But sure, keep going.
yeah.
Sure.
And then a correction to a correction.
Oh!
It was
that.
initially unclear whether Ultra Beasts even were Pokemon, with their initial names being descriptive codes beginning with UB. However, the end game of Sun and Moon clarified that they were simply Pokemon from the alternate dimension of Ultra Space.
There we go.
Ultra space.
They were always Pokemon.
Ultra Space, but still Pokemon.
They're Pokemon.
All along.
I haven't played so.
So is that like like a space but better, like ultra space, or is it just like a space that's
I
called
think it's a
ultra?
different dimension.
Yeah.
So like here we have space, and there's ultra
space.
space. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Pokemon gets weird.
If you have a correction, please leave it in the YouTube comments on either the public version or the patron version of this video. Use the word correction so I can search for it, and put a timestamp there so I know what we were talking about and have all the proper context. End corrections music.
Context is key.
All right, it's been a while since we had any kind of opening bit. I jumped into the middle of Jones's thing and didn't know where that was going. And I also think that like we don't always have to have one. I think we can have breaks and just go about the podcast as it is, go through the news.
Bloodworth, I agree.
But I was thinking about it. Somebody had mentioned in the comments, and like, hey, been a while since we had an open bit. It's a good way to interact.
Okay.
And then I was like, I was like, I'll put a pin in that and I'll think about it. And then like 10, 15 minutes later, I came up with something.
Nice.
So
What do you got?
I'm going to try something called Workout Buddies.
Workout buddies.
It's going to properly start next week.
Okay.
But each week,
tease.
patrons are going to submit video game characters for us to work out with,
Ooh,
raising our character stats with every session.
dude.
But first, our character needs a name.
Yo, I immediately thought of the song in Final Fantasy VII Remake, Damiani, when you're working out, you're doing the squats, dude. That song is so hype.
Okay, you said the name of the song. So what's the
No,
name?
I don't know the name.
Okay.
I just thought of the
We're
song.
getting- we're getting there.
I had no idea. What is the name of that song? I have no idea. No idea.
I asked the patrons to submit names for us to choose from.
Oh, okay.
We've got 58 names here.
It's a lot.
So how we're going to whittle this down,
The most muscular.
it's going to be kind of by a random draw. So each person is going to pick 3 numbers between 1 and 58, and then I will give you the names that you have, and then after you get your names, we'll go from there.
This is perfect, Bloodworth.
So Huber, what are your 3 numbers?
I'm going to say number 3,
Okay.
number 18,
Okay.
and number 36.
Okay. So 3. See, I'm going to make different colors for you so I remember whose these are. Huber, your first one is Dawn Romantica,
Dawn Romantica.
submitted by Ian Alexander.
Great. Great.
And then the next number was 18. That is Selah Isai, also Easy Allies backwards.
Awesome.
Submitted by the Dork Knight.
Great. Red Rum.
And then 36 is Bossmon of the Dark Ally Dimension from Sekiro 505.
Excellent. Boss Mon.
Oh, all right. Damiani, what are your 3 numbers?
Let's do 7, 11, and 33.
7, 11, 33. That's nice. Good, like, lotto numbers there.
Yeah.
7, 11,
Send me the
33,
money.
dude.
Some of the cash.
Digging that. There is a smaller one in California. It's like the 3 number lotto.
So your first one, Damiani, is Serenadine Amelie, the favorite, from Colt Smith. 11 is Rolo Lolo Tupo from T.L. Coleman.
What are these names?
I know. What?
And then 33
There's sounds at this point.
is Henry Vouse, the Dashing, from Andy Schreiner.
Dude.
Henry
How's
Voust.
the dashing?
Sounds like the star of a Metroidvania game or something.
All right, Isla, what are your numbers?
Henry Voust.
6, 12, 48.
6, 12, 48. All right. 6 is Xanatos Lancaster from Lincoln Race. 12 is Juno from Ballad of the Goddess.
Juno.
And then 48,
Correct.
Richard Peter Gamesman from Matt Galeza. All right.
What is that? Okay.
All right, so now you've got to pick out of your three. So Huber, out of Dawn Romantica, Sila Isai, or Bossmon of the Dark Ally Dimension, which one?
Those are all really good. I do like they all are calling me for a different reason. This whole time, I've thought I was gonna pick each of them, but right now, the lights are shining. It's on me. I've stalled through time. I like the way Dawn Romantica
Correct answer.
rolls off the tongue. It feels right. It sounds right. I'm going with that.
Nice. Damiani, out of Serenadine Amelie the Favored, Rolo Lolo Topo, and Henry Vouse the Dashing. Which one do you want?
Rolo just sounds like gibberish. So
Makes me think of Lale Lule Lo.
makes me feel think of the candy Rolos.
Oh yeah.
Vikings, Rolo.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with the dashing Henry.
Henry the Dashing. All right. And then Isla, which of your three? Juno, Richard Peter Gamesman, or Xanatos Lancaster?
I find Richard Peter Gamesman hilarious, but I worry that it's some kind of like salacious joke that I'm not gathering. So let's go Xanatos Lancaster.
All right.
Oh, it's RPG. Of course it is.
Oh, RPG. Got it.
Richard
Nice.
Peter Gamesman. Damn it! Now I like it.
Pick it. It's not too
Is that your
late.
pick?
Or Xanatos, or whatever the hell.
Richard Peter Gamesman.
There
Okay.
it is.
And now we all have to vote out of those three.
Okay.
Who's it gonna be?
I say you,
Dawn Romantica.
Dawn
I vote Dawn Romantica.
Romantica.
Don Romantica.
Don
Yeah, it
Romantica?
seems unanimous.
Yeah, do you also
Okay.
want Dawn Romantica?
Do you also want Dawn Romantica, Gabby?
Nice.
Yeah.
And you, Blood?
There it
You
is.
as well, Blood?
Dawn Romantica is our character.
DAWN
Romantica.
ROMANTICA for listeners.
Yeah, that DAWN is key. Sweet. So come back next week to join our first workout session and
Nice.
become a patron at $5 and up to submit.
Hope it's Tifa first.
So we are Dawn Romantica, and we are working out with characters, and we're ranking up.
Correct.
Great, I love that.
Yes.
Dawn Romantica, dude.
All right. Great big news happened this morning / last night. It was morning for them, last night for us. The Embracer Group is back on a buying spree.
What else is new?
Every time
This
I
is
look
insane.
at another source, I find another company I missed the time before. It just keeps expanding. Every article I see, there's another company that I missed.
Wild. It's absolutely wild.
So they got Tripwire Interactive, which has Killing Floor, Maneater. They also publish Chivalry. They've got a team of 113. They're going to be under Saber Interactive. They're getting limited run games.
Pause 1 sec. Tripwire publishes. Have they developed
Killing Floor
as
is
well?
theirs.
Killing Floor
Yeah,
is
yeah.
theirs, right? They
Yeah.
develop that, but then they publish. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and they also did a lot of the work on Maneater. Like another team started it, but then they kind of came into the team.
Love Maneater.
Yeah.
Love Maneater. I still need to play that DLC, Blood.
Limited run games. They've got a team of 69. They also got a store, and they've got this technology that they're using, and that's one of the things that they cited is the tech to do some of the things that they do. Tuxedo Labs. Behind Teardown. Remember that
Tear down the.
that voxel game where you're like just smashing
Yeah, yeah,
houses
yeah.
and all that stuff? That's a team of 5. They're also going to be under Saber. Singtrix, who I'd not heard of but have been around for a long time. They're a music-based company. Actually, it might not have been the company that was around, but it might have been the developers individually. But they've been making karaoke machines, but some of those same developers worked on the first Guitar Hero. They basically claim to be the originators of Guitar Hero.
Dang.
Worked with Activision and all that. That's a team of 5, and they're going to
Small
be
teams.
using their music and Vocaloid, technology for different games and stuff. Tatsujin, which is Embracer's first Japanese studio, and they're going to be working with Bitwave Games, who is a Swedish company that's essentially focused on bringing old school retro Japanese games back to modern consoles to
Amazing.
a worldwide audience.
Great cause.
That's including Zero Wing, Twin Cobra, and Gimmick. Which
What's
feeds
Zero
into
Wing
another-
about? What's that one?
Zero Wing is like,
I don't know this one.
you know, talking about things that didn't have names yet?
Yeah.
Zero Wing was a meme before the term meme existed.
Have you heard the phrase "all your base"?
Oh, that's Zero Wing. Okay, of course, of course, of
shoot,
course. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. Great. The original meme.
Yes,
The original meme.
for a new generation.
Very cool.
There's Geotech, which I think makes like gaming accessories. I don't know a lot about them. That's one of the last ones I found out
It's
about.
Jodic, like Bobby Kotick.
Oh, maybe.
It might not be. I'm just saying.
Nice.
There is an undisclosed company that makes PC and console games.
Top secret.
That has not been revealed due to quote unquote commercial reasons.
What does that mean, commercial reasons? What does that
ranks
mean?
third or fourth among these transactions in terms of
that's
size.
where it was like, okay.
That's why I was trying to figure out team sizes, right? Because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Killing Floors 113, Limited Run 69. So it's somewhere in that ballpark.
So like 40, 50 people maybe?
Yeah, somewhere between like 50 to 100
yeah,
people.
it's not
Yeah.
like. Oh, I read it first. I misread it, like of all time, like third or fourth biggest company acquisition. So it's like, what the hell? It's like
1,000.
Nah, it's within their acquisitions.
Got
It's
it.
like, okay, got to settle down a little bit.
And
And then most importantly,
but we just don't know the name of.
we don't know who they got.
Okay.
We just don't know who they
just
got
don't
yet.
know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's so weird.
And then most importantly, they got Middle-earth Enterprises giving the IP rights to the Lord of the Rings in all media except for the publication of the books themselves.
Which Tolkien estate.
HarperCollins or whatever has the book publishing rights.
So, I always hear about with the movies and The Hobbit and everything, with the production of all that, the Tolkien estate has power here. Do they still?
I don't know that they
This is-
really did necessarily. There's probably other things to this, but this is
Okay.
the Saul Zaentz company who had been involved and has had the rights since like the 70s.
Got it.
So they're the ones that was licensing out
Yeah.
to everybody else. They were, those animated films back.
Yeah, what
in the
does
day,
what does
all of that.
Amazon think
Well,
of
this
this?
is different,
Blood, $1
right.
billion.
Well, oh yeah. I mean,
Well,
that's
Amazon. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
Why
now Amazon's money is going to be going to the Embracer Group, basically.
Well, hang on. Is that actually correct? Because
I don't know. There's probably a
Yeah.
bigger breakdown.
because people are trying
I
to
think so.
people are trying to say like specifically The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings properties, but Silmarillion is owned separately. That is 100% the Tolkien estate apparently.
is it?
And that's what Amazon's show is based on, is that material,
Got it.
which is why none of their marketing can reference Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. in
I
it.
don't know. So this says
Yeah.
the iconic fantasy literary works of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit, as well as matching rights in other Middle-earth related literary works authorized by the Tolkien estate and HarperCollins.
Authorized.
This
Authorization.
is going to be like so weird with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But it's also like, one, it's shocking that if these rights apparently were up for sale.
Yeah, they were up for sale for like $2 billion.
Embrace-
and it
you got 'em.
sounds like they went for much, much less.
Yeah. But Amazon didn't go in for them. Like, they got a huge ass show with a ton of money attached to it, and it was for sale. I'm shocked. Like, they must have broke out the checkbook for this one. Man. They threw everything at that probably, but
Yeah.
but then you said it might not even have gone for like that full amount potentially that people were speculating.
Does this affect the Middle Earth games at all?
I don't really because again I think that like they're like basically the ones that take the money now.
Okay.
So, it's
So
like
they're just kind of
maybe
the
future projects.
They're kind of the ticket
but-
takers, basically.
yeah.
Just hey, feel
and then
free
like
to make that,
Warner
but
has
we-
their own rights over the films, so it's like not like somebody else can make something that like has something that looks like the films.
Yeah.
But there is background here on Saul Zaentz. Saul Zaentz Company, based in Berkeley, California, was founded in 1976. It was originally set up as a film production company, which produced award-winning films such as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One of the best.
It acquired
Legendary.
its rights from the heirs and estate of J.R.R. Tolkien and HarperCollins publishers, who maintain the print publication rights to J.R.R. Tolkien's works. The Saul Zaentz Company first acquired the rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in '76 in arrangement with United Artists to produce the animated version of The Lord of the Rings, directed by Ralph Bakshi. all of that other stuff, and then New Line Cinema, Peter Jackson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then Embracer already had rights for board games to the Asmodee Group. And then key upcoming works set in Middle-earth, in which Middle-earth Enterprises has financial interests, include the much-heralded Amazon series, The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, which will premiere on September 2nd, set thousands of years before The Hobbit, and The Lord of the Rings, the animated movie The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, set for release in 2024, and the mobile game The Lord of the Rings, Heroes of Middle-earth, etc. Other opportunities include exploring additional movies based on iconic characters such as Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, Galadriel,
Marvel.
Eowyn.
The Lord of the Rings cinematic universe is coming to town, Huber.
All right. Okay.
Gandalf Origins with the
Cautious. So cautious about all this. Cautiously optimistic. You hope it all works out. You hope it's cool, I mean, the possibilities there are endless. I mean, a Gandalf show, like, sign me up.
Well,
sure.
we've been joking about Gandalf 2 for years.
Gandalf 2.
Real possibility.
Well, this explains why Gandalf 2 was delayed.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But also,
the purchase price here, they just said is they've agreed not to disclose.
Yeah.
So,
But dude, now there's hope. Like your Middle-earth games, maybe get like remakes, remasters, or something.
We need that third one. We just need one more.
Maybe now, Huber.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it can happen.
the Warner Brothers one, you mean?
Yeah.
The Monolith one?
Yes. We need just one more. One of those series where it's like, just give this one more go.
Shadow
one
of Mordor.
last one. Close
What would
it
it be
out.
called? What would you call it?
Like something of Middle Earth. I don't know. Shadow of Isn't
of
it
the
Middle
Wraith?
Earth? Shadow of Middle Earth. I don't know.
Shadow of Gandalf?
Yeah. I don't know.
Shadows of the Eye.
Yeah. Shadow of the Ring or something. Something weird. I don't know.
Are they both? What are the first two called?
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Yeah.
Shadows of the Tomb Raider.
Shadows of the Tomb Great.
Right?
Middle
There you
Earth,
go.
Shadows of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'd play that.
Yeah. But that was, what was that, like 2017 now, maybe? Is that long ago? It's been a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. What's crazy about the timing of this, too, is just a couple of days before this, Private Division, who is like a different publisher under Take-Two.
Yeah.
They've, put out Rollerdrome and, they've done Outer Worlds and stuff. They just announced that they're doing a Lord of the Rings game with Weta.
Crazy.
And so
What rules?
they're signing a new publishing agreement with Weta Workshop, best known for their work on Lord of the Rings film trilogy. In 2014, Weta founded an interactive game division and are now developing a new game set in the Middle-earth universe. Middle-earth Enterprises have licensed the literary works of the series, providing Weta Workshop with the broadest creative license to interpret underlying lore of the books. This title is in early development and does not yet have an announced release date. It is expected to launch during Take-Two's fiscal year 2024, which leads us into like March of 2025.
So we are fully gearing up for an onslaught of Middle-earth related media on all fronts.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to give a quick shout out to the Two Towers and the Return of the King games from EA. They were absolutely incredible. Love those games. Let's get more of that. It's basically like beat 'em up, dude. Lord of the Rings,
played them.
Yeah, dude.
Game magazines back in the day used to like do like, can you tell which is the game and which is the movie? Like with the tiny print screenshots, of course. So it's like, come on, blow those up and you get come on. But I mean, they were cool.
Did you tell?
So sick.
I mean, some of the small ones are harder.
I think they had scenes from the movie, like in the game. Remember the cutscenes, right?
they did.
Yeah.
Like the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yeah,
they did like that
dude.
side shot across like the whole ramparts and everything. Yeah.
Love those games so much. So yeah, let's get more of that. I think that's why I like the Middle Earth ones. They're a good time. They're not the best ever, but I do really like those games. just because it's fun to run around in Middle Earth and
Yeah.
take out some orcs and just be in
the Lord
that
of the Rings
world.
Online is still out there,
Lord of
too.
the Rings Online, of course. I played in the beginning, but it's been going on
I never
for
touched that one.
so long.
There was one on Wii where it was Aragorn or something,
Right.
but it was like a Legend of Zelda type game, dude. It was just like, it was like
Just Aragorn's quest, I think.
Yeah, it was like kind of like pseudo
I
open
never played that
world,
one.
like go around do quests in freaking Middle Earth. It was like sick.
That's cool.
May not hold up as well, but I remember it being kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this box art.
The Aragorn's quest box art.
Dude, yeah. Dude, yeah. I played that at game trailers.
Yo, re-release all that stuff. The Two Towers and Return of the King ones. I bet with the movie clips in there, that gets weird.
Now, an
Licensing.
abbreviated refresher on who else Embracer owns.
Oh, dear.
They're still in process. I don't think it's completed yet. The Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal purchase that was talked about earlier this year. THQ Nordic, which includes Bugbear, Gunfire Games, a whole bunch of other people. Saber Interactive, which includes a bunch of people, including 3D Realms, Aspire, Zen Studios, as well as Saber themselves. Gearbox, Coffee Stain, Tarsier Studios, who did Little Nightmares. Dark Horse Comics, they got not that long ago. Play On, which includes Deep Silver, Flying Wild Hog, Prime Matter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just tons of people.
So many.
Get embraced, Huber.
I'm
Get embraced.
like, I'm gasping for air because they're embracing me so hard, blood.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight hug.
That is, like, yo, ease up, Embracer. I need some air here. We've talked about this for so long. Obviously, shout out to Bossman for telling me who Embracer Group was on this podcast. Like 6 years ago, was just tracking these acquisitions. Here we are now because it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. It's like we're just a few away from them owning the most, it feels like, Woodward. If they don't already, like, I would like to see the net worth of like all the the value of all
who are they
that
positioning for next.
yeah, like just a few moves away from complete global saturation. It's out of control.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, you really have to take a look at all those companies they now have, and like, you have to like regard them as like one of the biggest entities now.
Right.
Like, you talk about like Ubisoft or Activision, you kind of like got to be careful. Like, well, you got to say Embracer now, because the Embracer Group, because like, look at all what they have and what they still might get, and it's like, where does it end? But so far, it seems like all this has been I don't know how people are taking the Lord of the Rings news, but like everything else seems like it's been like pretty much in good faith, where it's like some of the acquisitions by other companies recently have been like a little bit more scrutinized because like there's some like fear about, oh no, is everyone just going to be gobbled up? Whereas Embracer, I think it's been like, no, this seems fine. Like I don't see a lot of people like calling.
I think
any
people are
backlash.
definitely getting to the point where it's like, they're getting a lot.
But now with this, I mean, yeah. But
Yeah.
before, up to this point, it was like, this doesn't seem too bad. Now it's like, yikes! Are like, who are they going to buy next? Like,
Seriously,
they buy like CD Projekt Red next, because they are where are they based in Europe again? I'm sorry, Poland. Thank you. So it's like the Embracer Group is.
Oh no, CD Projekt is in Poland.
I know CD Projekt
Embracer
is
is
in
Sweden.
Sweden. Okay, thank you.
Because they're like a spin-off of THQ Nordic, kind of.
It's not
It's
quite.
complicated,
Yeah, it's a little
but
different than that. But yeah,
They rebranded from a THQ
some
thing.
yeah, they
steals
bought the
here.
THQ license way back, and then
I want to see an Embracer Group steal, because what are the rumors, like Sony buying like Square Japan? Because
Embracer swoops
Embracer
in.
swoops. I want to see that headline with a big studio like that, where we just assumed it was like Sega or something, and it's like, because they said like their first Japanese acquisition, it's like sounded like that might not be the last. By the
Oh no, every one of these,
Yeah.
like earlier this year when we got the Square Enix news of them buying those studios, that they're like, we're not. This is the tip of the iceberg, and like now we're like getting more into the iceberg. Although I think that acquisition was still bigger than most of these. The Lord of the Rings is just the crazy one.
That
It's
is
so
wild.
wild.
Yeah.
That is so wild. We're in like the calm before the storm too. It feels like really good timing on their part to announce this, specifically the Lord of the Rings part, because the show is coming up. There hasn't been Lord of the Rings content for a minute now. We've seen the Gollum game teased.
Yeah.
The last Hobbit movie was a while ago, so it just feels
Yeah, and I
like
think that's
good
the data leak,
timing
which I
there.
haven't heard I didn't see any mention of the Golem game in here.
No.
So
man, are they going to be riding on some of the Amazon marketing dollars now?
For
Because
sure.
like that's all
For
in
sure.
there. It's like just ride that free marketing. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely smart business move there.
Yeah, and like just the diverse portfolio of companies they're buying. It's not
Right.
just all studios, like as you said, like peripheral and accessory makers on there, and then like limited run games with like physical game products, especially of like niche stuff as well. It's like, like they got some pretty ambitious, goals, or it'd be interesting to see what they got up their sleeve. Yeah.
And they created a new division called Free Mode, which encompasses a lot of these purchases. But for the most part, it seems like at least like the larger divisions that they have, like Saber and Gearbox and stuff like that, it seems like those all operate more independently, and that's why you don't hear about Embracer Group, right? Because like Embracer Group's just like the giant
shadow
parent company.
organization.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas
They're
like,
like Tencent, basically.
yeah, like Saber is making their own decisions. We've heard about them like taking over that Knights of the Old Republic thing from Aspire.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then THQ Nordic we're about to get to them. Like they just had their own showcase, and like it was specifically just a THQ Nordic showcase. They didn't have all the other Embracer Group entities in there. So it's interesting the way that it's structured.
Yeah, I think there's just simply too much there. They
Right.
wanted to like put everything under there, especially like an event. It like would be weird because we're already like looking at like Microsoft Bethesda showcase
new
already. It's
E3
like
and it's just
the
the
E3, the
Embracer
Embracer showcase would just be its own. It can just be its own. The E3 just be Embracer 3 or whatever. Like don't even need other companies to show
That's
up.
what the E stands for.
Yeah, it's for Embracer now.
You could make such like a subtly sinister poster for the like Embracer showcase. Just some big, it's like, we embrace it all.
Well, I put the Eye of Sauron on this thumbnail. So.
Yes.
I was curious for context. I was trying to figure out which company has acquired the most other companies.
Oh, that's so hard.
Great
Yeah, that
question.
was a difficult
Disney.
thing to figure out, but I did find out two interesting things. The biggest acquisition in history was Monisman, acquired by Vodafone AirTouch PLC, whatever that is. This was in 1999, adjusted for inflation for about $297.7 billion.
300 bill.
Changing the landscape.
$300 billion.
Excellent.
And then this I found interesting. The industry with the most mergers, the highest volume of M&A deals, apparently, and it was in 2018 and 2019 was actually the software industry. So I wonder if this stuff would count in that. Because, people be acquiring.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. What's weird to me, I think the weird thing to me with the Lord of the Rings thing is it seems like, for at least the last couple decades, it feels like the Saul Zaentz company was basically just managing that. I don't know what else they were doing, at least in the background, it seems like it was kind of like a more, focused thing, like small knit group of people. And now, like with the Embracer Group being on top of it, like it just feels like maybe not curated as much. Mm-hmm. Not that it's been like super strictly curated, anyways, but like you're saying, just like all the potential movies that they're listing or whatever side stories.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like it's gonna get a little overdone.
Yeah, and too, I wonder like if Amazon is doing the show, if that gets to tie in to any of these, like what is the deal there? Because if we're talking about all these spin-offs and stuff, is that in relation to this show, or are we gonna have like different universes, timelines now, all that stuff? It's like, this show's separate from this show, so
I'm worried how that gets entangled.
Right.
I'm envisioning this maybe being like Spider-Man and MCU, where Sony's got Spider-Man, and so Amazon's got this one show, it blows up, and it's like Embracer's like, well, we want to use some of that stuff, and they're like, well, we technically own this, so you own this, but like we got to do a little bit of negotiating here.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, and I'm also really shocked that I'd like to know who else was in this bidding war for like if there was like was there a bidding war?
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, like
it seems like they put it out there. Nobody bid.
Cash.
And then
That's so weird that no one like
They bought it for a fourth of what they wanted.
Not just like
I bet it was
gaming, like
cash offered.
Microsoft, Sony, Activate, like no one else in the gaming like sphere went for it, and then like in the greater sphere of like medium, like Disney or like Apple, like no one else went for Lord of the Rings. Like what? That seems so weird.
Yeah, why didn't
does
Amazon?
seem-
Or they got
get it?
outbid by Embracer, which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
How much money that would be to like outbid like Disney or Apple and stuff. Like,
I
oh my
weirdly
God.
wonder though if it is worth that, like worth it. Like I
Yeah.
definitely don't think it was worth $2 billion or whatever. But like, because the movies obviously were international sensations, but
They-
like New Line still went out of business.
I mean,
You know?
so,
They're just
Stunning.
mismanaged like crazy, I guess.
So, such a different landscape now.
Oh,
you
for
put
sure,
out
yeah.
a halfway decent Lord of the Rings movie, and that's making a bill.
I suppose.
Well, I mean,
you're
the
probably
originals
right. You're
all
probably
made $1
right.
billion
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
you're
making a
probably right.
bill easy.
also, I mean, any one of us, if we had the cash, would buy that.
Oh, yeah.
Just to have, like Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take
I mean,
that.
yeah,
Sure.
it's a treasure
For
trove,
sale?
and like I'm not
Yeah.
shocked if you spend any amount of money to acquire this type of rights, you're gonna be making stuff. This is literally what happened with like Disney. Nowadays, like, why did Disney make so many Star Wars things? Well, of course, when they acquired Star Wars, they were gonna go crazy and
Right.
make as much Star Wars stuff as they could.
Well, that's why we have that line in there. Like, half of that stuff probably will never happen. It's a line to justify to the shareholders why they spent that money.
Exactly.
And so I again, that's why I kind of like think it's like, yeah, if I'm Lars or whatever, I'm like I want to buy Lord of the Rings now. Okay, somebody give me reasons. Just give me a reason to tell the shareholders I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Somebody in the room is just like, Gandalf.
Okay, here's the most important thing I need to know about this deal. Do they own the rights to that Tolkien photo that like was on like Twitter that someone tweeted for his birthday and like the Tolkien estate got angry and said, "Do you actually own this photo?" No, you don't. So I want to know, do they own that photo now?
Probably not. Probably not.
I just really hope we get some awesome Lord of the Rings games. Let's go. It's time. Let's go.
Right.
It's been a minute.
Well, yeah. I mean, in my mind, you can't get much worse than Sheila being a witch or whatever. But
Okay.
Here
we go. Here we go.
Yep.
I know we just got something similar, but what if in like 4 or 5 years we get From Software's Lord of the Rings Souls like type game?
oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they could knock on that
Yes.
door.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I'm
I would
curious
guess.
what this Weta thing with Private Division could be like too. It's one of those things where like we haven't really seen what that studio can do, so I don't even know what my expectations should be in 3 years from now.
Yeah. I just need something more exciting than the Gollum game. Like it
Yeah.
looks okay, but like it.
I want a Fellowship game so bad, like going into the mines of Moria, super realistic looking, incredible. Like, I just can't even imagine. Games look so good now. Just Remake 2
Yes.
vibes, but like Mines of Moria, dude, just going down in there. It'd be so hype.
Just like and like seeing all of it, not just what you like saw in like
Yeah.
the films, but like based on all the information, like flesh it out, like you
Yes,
explore
exploring.
all of it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Again, totally different landscape now, and we all know how it turned out. But I remember Aliens. Colonial Marines had that pitch, Damiani.
Yeah.
They used concept art. They're like, now you can explore the ship from the movie. You can actually go to different rooms, and we have the concept art. The game wasn't great, but that idea is awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
So I mean, inherently there's apprehension, of course, about
Yeah,
any
cautious.
company like sucking up all of these things. But do you have anything concrete to be worried about with Embracer Group? Or do we just not know enough about them?
Yeah. They're like, the shadow organization, like
Straight
as
up.
you
All
said,
you
like,
All you hear about is that they
just-
bought somebody.
Yeah, it's just like this ominous name you keep hearing. I feel like it maybe might it feels like the starting days of when people like who don't maybe follow as much financial news in the industry start hearing more about Tencent. It's like oh, like PUBG, Tencent, like oh what Tencent, what?
Well, I
Like,
think
what?
for a while
Yeah.
EA was in this kind of I like
early EA.
Yeah, like when they bought Maxis and Westwood and all of those companies, and then it
That's
just became
old,
like this
yeah.
pattern of like, oh, EA bought all these companies just to shut them down.
Oh, for something tangible, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's a good example too. I guess I was saying like this feels more like a Tencent thing where this like they're so big and beyond just like what we're talking about here that I like it's who knows what they're really thinking. Whereas like EA, it's like, yeah, they're a game company. Why are they buying these games? And like one game fails, they shut it down. Like that had like a pattern. I haven't seen anything from Embracer or their studios yet that indicate that would be the thing, but like maybe, I don't know.
Like you kind of said earlier, Blood, just how even though it's all under Embracer, it still feels like they're all kind of their own thing, you know, which is good because Ubisoft, I think of like they are one big Ubisoft, but like all their games kind of end up feeling, you know, they all share kind of a similar DNA, just like a similar vibe and look and feel. And at least with this, even though Embracer owns it all, everything can still feel different and like feel dramatically different. I know there's a lot more nuance to Ubisoft games in there, of course, but like they still end up kind of feeling similar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like even just from like this run of things, it's like you look at like Killing Floor and then retro Japanese games and karaoke machines. It's just
going
it's kind of all over the place. Yeah,
it's like Sega Sammy or something because you know they have Sega, but they have like I mean a lot of these companies do technically like Square Enix even like that's like its parent company. Like there's the game development company, and then like there's the parent company, the Square Enix Holdings or whatever. Sorry, correct me, but what the actual name is. But like they have like manga, anime, like they just go way beyond.
Fullmetal Alchemist, right?
Yeah, like they go a lot further than that too. And I don't know if a lot of people are always aware of that. I mean, historically, that's what Nintendo was back in the day. They were like had their hands in a little bit more different like areas there, but.
Yeah, those early Yamauchi days. Buy whatever random thing seems like it'll make some money.
Yeah, I mean, I think almost all of them do. And this, there's always room, I think, for more. So it's like it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. But at the same time, yes, that slew of announcements is like, holy crap, like that's insane at all these things. And it's like, but also like I could see why there's some like pause for concern here. It's like, oh yeah, like too much too soon. Like what? Like where are we all going with this?
They're smart because they keep picking up a little bit at a time. And I know I've said in the past, like, I'll be nervous when they get like more. It's like, well, they just keep getting just like a little more, a little more, a little more, and it's like, well, shit.
Hoping you don't notice. Trying to pull fast on everyone I see.
Because there were rumors a while ago when all those buyouts were happening. It's like, is EA going to sell? Is Ubisoft going to sell? Like, if Embracer made that one big move and just bought Ubisoft or bought EA, then it's like, okay, well, they're going to just legitimately own everything. Yeah, like they are that one big move away from just having so much.
I honestly wonder if calling it Embracer Group is what makes we consumers so concerned. Like
it's such a scary name.
Right, and if they had just left it like THQ Holdings, whatever, blah, blah, like called it something like that. Like
Holdings is the worst vibe.
All right, but like called it like THQ
Holdings and
Nordic,
Embrace kind of go together.
THQ Nordic, whatever, like something we're already familiar with,
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gotten.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, but I think Embracer Group probably get like business chodes probably love that sort of thing. So they're probably like, ooh, Embracer Group. Let me sell you things.
Hey man, everyone wants to be sold to Embracer now.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
It's the new hotness.
Yeah.
The old hotness.
As we mentioned, THQ Nordic out of that group, they had a showcase last Friday.
Showcat.
But the biggest thing out of there, Alone in the Dark remake coming back, Huber.
Crazy.
They put out a little trailer. We watched it earlier.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Trailer looks fine. It looks fine.
With a lowercase f.
Yeah, swimming perhaps. I'm hoping for better than swimming, but very early, very initial trailer. So much atmosphere. The atmosphere is so key, so you want to really like soak into that before I got to soak into that before I can pass judgment. But this is one of the earliest video games I've ever played, Bloodworth. Truly. I played this on floppy disks
Nice.
in my parents'
Floppies are the smaller, harder ones.
the DOS like floppy hard
Hole in the
floppy
middle?
disks,
Got
the
it.
harder ones, not the like soft.
Oh, okay.
Three
Yeah.
by fives, not the
Yeah.
5 by fives.
Right,
There
right.
we go. Thank you, Isla.
3.5.
3.5, I mean, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, just on the family computer. Never finished it because this damn psycho dog would always kill me. And then I also, because this was like weird DOS days, I had the like freeware, shareware demos of the next ones, but it was only like the very beginning of Alone in the Dark 2 and 3. There was like a Wild West one.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, it was like Wild West kind of themed or like a mining thing, I remember. But again, one of the earliest games I played, this is 4 years about before Resident Evil. And this is fixed cameras, survival horror in a mansion. I mean, this really like was kind of Resident Evil before Resident Evil. Obviously, Sweet Home is another thing that Resident Evil was based off of, but just kind of one of the earliest survival horror games that I ever fell in love with, and that helped contribute, to falling in love with Resident Evil, and we all know how that turned out, but definitely a franchise that has been kind of lost to time. I know there was a reboot back in like 2008, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact date, but I remember those.
Yeah, and I liked the reboot. I dug it. Shout out to one of the coolest inventories in video games. You open up your jacket and you pick
Okay,
your inventory. Boom, boom, boom. Just so cool. And the simple premise of the original is you're a private detective, 1920s Louisiana, looking for someone, haunted mansion.
And then that
Just great.
they've got in there that kind of vibe in that's in the
Yes.
trailer. It's the
Yeah.
same time period.
Yeah, so the trailer, it's funny because, it came out before Resident Evil, and Resident Evil kind of, maybe looked to that for a little bit of inspiration, just fixed cameras and the way you move around and like the puzzles. There's a lot of puzzles, more puzzles than combat pretty much. And then now this reimagining remake is looking to Resident Evil for inspiration. We
Right.
have that Remake 2, Remake 3, Remake 4 vibe, over the shoulder, just looks cool, looks spooky. Give me that atmosphere. Again, I gotta feel the atmosphere in the combat, but a promising initial trailer for sure.
Yeah.
Glad it's back.
There
Everything's
are
coming back.
multiple characters in that trailer, playable characters.
Nice.
Is that a thing in the first game? Do you remember?
That is not what I remember. I remember playing just that
Just a detective.
like detective dude with the kicks. You could like kick away zombies and stuff. But yeah, like I it's been so long, Blood. Again, it's been like decades probably since I dipped my feet back into Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the story beats.
Yeah, they say it's actually a completely original story.
Oh,
wow.
But it does incorporate characters. You can put that trailer on for people to check it out for sure. A completely original story, but it does incorporate characters, places, and themes from the original 90s trilogy.
very cool.
And then from the PlayStation blog, they did a little bit about this too. Developer Pieces Interactive is a mix of new talent and seasoned veteran developers. It has an engaging story that's been created by Mikhail Hedberg, cult horror writer of Soma and Amnesia: The Dark
There
Descent.
you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
There you
shoot.
go.
Okay.
Like both of those games.
Yeah.
And then somebody who collaborated with Guillermo del Toro, Guy Davis, has contributed to monster designs. And then Doom jazz legend Jason Conan provides eerie and haunting melodies to create a tense, twisted, and haunting audio atmosphere.
Great.
We heard a little bit, maybe slightly a bit too much of that saxophone in the trailer. It got a little bit loud there. And then, deep psychological original horror story.
Hell yeah. Just so excited. Love this setting so much. I mean, I just love it. I love it. I love everything about it. I love, Evil Within, Resident Evil, Let's Go, Dead Space. Just, it is a good time to be a horror fan in today's gaming landscape. We got Callisto Protocol coming out.
Yes.
Just add this to the list, and it's just cool to, it's original story, but it's like cool to go back to Alone in the Dark. This is again one of the earliest survival horror games. And I'm just excited. And that's it.
They talk about psychological, like, and there's like an asylum and all of that kind of thing. How much of that do you know? Do you remember? Like, is this stuff?
Dude, I just remember wandering around the mansion, getting lost, and that damn dog killing me so many times. Look it up. I'm sure you don't even need to look it up because you know the dog. That dog probably killed you too. Brutal.
Jeez. I think it's good it's coming back. Interesting to note that it's like kind of like a reimagining, not like a literal like one-to-one like remake or something like that. I think the setting's going to help it stand apart a little bit, because my concern would be like we do have a kind of like floodgates open of a lot of these types of games coming out.
Definitely.
We already had 2 and 3 Remake come out, but like just in like the next like year, we already got like the Callisto Protocol, we got the Dead Space Remake, and we also got RE4 Remake. So it's like in the span of a year, less than a year now,
There's
you're
some
gonna
other
get like
space horror games that were shown off during Summer Game Festival.
and we're getting all of these, and then like and then Alone in the Dark is like, is there just too many of them? Like, are people just going to be maybe tune this out because they already have seen ones that look better potentially, or just like more intriguing? But I think the setting does help. I think
And
the
the
setting,
name, for sure.
and then the name is pretty good too. Like I hate to say it, but like Alone in the Dark to me rings truer to like a horror type game than like Callisto Protocol. I'm like, I'd have to see Callisto Protocol. I'm like, okay, I get it now, but like just hearing that title, I'm like, Callisto Protocol, like, okay, what's that? And like Alone in the Dark, like, dude, that's a horror game, isn't it? Yeah,
That's a great name for sure.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things, kind of like what you're saying, Huber. It's like you don't really remember what it's about, but you know that name.
Yep.
You know that name, and if you don't know the name, then you know what it is.
Yeah. I just remember this very simple but perfect concept of trying to escape a haunted mansion. That's it. Freakos are hunting you down. You have limited resources, and you are trying to survive and get out of there and progress. Just the best. It's my favorite.
Let's get a movie adaptation. And was it by what's his face?
Oh yeah.
Who made
That's one of those.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. There was House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark. Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's how big it was. I mean, there was a trilogy. There was a reboot.
Yeah.
I think there was like 5 games, maybe a mobile game in there too.
Isla, did you ever get into Alone in the Dark?
Yeah, I like Alone in the Dark. I played similarly to Huber. I played it as a kid. I wasn't able to get through it either.
Yeah.
Just because I got stuck, and then I was like, well, okay. I mean, I definitely had some of those demos. I don't know if I ever played the third one, the Western one, but yeah, this one, it looks. I was skeptical until I saw the gameplay, because the talking and the character animations, I was like, what's our budget here?
Right.
But I'm excited for it. I hope it's good.
Same.
Another pair of games that I wanted to bring up from the CHQ event. Oh.
I think the last little thing. I love when a reboot or reimagining comes out, because you can look back at the franchise, and I believe those are all on Steam. You can just play the originals.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Revisit those. Little piece of history. I love that. Celebrate video
Might have
games.
to install some mod to make them work after you buy them.
They're probably on GOG, I wonder.
Yeah. Just I love that stuff. I could have sworn I remember seeing even the 2008 one like on the Xbox store. You can just download it but so cool. Love it.
Nice. Huber, THQ is keeping crashing alive.
Yes.
They've got Wreckfest.
Yes.
And now, in this event, we got 2 more. We got Wreckreation and Stuntfest.
Yeah.
Talk about Wreckreation first, and you can roll that video. So this is from Three Fields Entertainment. These are some of the original Criterion guys, some of the original Burnout guys.
Hell yeah.
They have also, in recent years, given us Dangerous Driving, Danger Zone 1 and 2, Dangerous Golf. I think they had some other game in there as well. And so this is their new thing. So they haven't been a big team. They've been pretty, budget. And I think you can still see, in this trailer, it's not, super, high end. But I think it looks better than the past games. I think it's getting a little bit more in there. And this one focuses on track building.
Yes. Track building with a twist, blood. Track building while people are on the track.
Heck yeah.
So hyped on this. I mean, blood. I feel like every like 5 or 6 months, I reminisce about like Burnout, and stunt mode and Criterion games with you, like all the time. But this game, like the Hot Wheels one, I think is super cool.
Yeah.
But this just looks like more chaotic.
Right.
More carnage. Building the tracks as people are on. Like, how do you even win in this? How do you even score points? It almost is like you just want everyone to crash at the exact same time. I mean, is that
I'm
like
curious
the
what
old
the
stunt mode?
campaign is like in this, you know?
Yeah, is it going to be like those the 4v1 like multiplayer games where like the track person is the one trying to stop you from finishing the race? Everyone you stop people, you win.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully that's one of the modes. That'd be like sick. Like, yeah, while you are also trying to like win the race too. Like, you multi-layered. But I wonder. You know what this is absolutely going to have? This is absolutely going to have Twitch integration.
Oh my
Twitch
god.
chat is absolutely going to be able to like,
Yes.
place your obstacles and stuff and try and torment you.
Yeah. The building,
Such a good concept.
A little bit of the building seemed pretty chill to do. I always get concerned with that because I'm really bad at that stuff, and sometimes those tools can be like so complex that I get
Right.
overwhelmed. But just simply placing those ramps and stuff seemed chill.
I'm curious if there's like big like the big sections of the track.
Yeah.
Like you have to like have locked in place before people are on them, and then you can only like drop in like maybe the smaller elements.
Yeah.
You know, like the rubber duck and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or if you can just edit the whole thing while people are riding around on it.
Wild. Excited. Always down for some San Francisco Rush stunt mode, Burnout Crash mode vibes.
Yeah. I know one of the other things that like Don was concerned about was whether it would just all be like these like elevated tracks and you wouldn't have any kind of like environmental kind
Sure.
But at the beginning of the trailer you see them like in a regular intersection dropping in that big cow and everything.
And the half pipe, like it was just the middle of that like forest, like Big Bear or whatever. Yeah.
Take to the skies.
I think they're just trying to like show something that like is attention grabbing there because like that custom course like was enormous. And, like, looked sick. Yeah. But once I got into like the actual like gameplay perspective, it looked a little bit more practical.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. As outlandish as they're making it. Yeah.
I always loved the like crafted crash mode.
Yeah.
Courses, Bloodworth, and you take turns. But this really feels ambitious. It really feels like taking that to the next level, modern, with, just a modern twist on it in real time. Everyone all at once going through the course versus like, all right, you go, then you go, then you go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it definitely like it's got the wrecking in there, but it does feel like more focused on racing.
Yeah. Kind of this hybrid mode.
We'll have to see how it all fares.
Definitely.
But again, like you talk about like the Hot Wheels thing, and it's like you can't really crash.
Yeah.
It's like you can stop really hard, but not really the same kind of physics. And then the other one, Stuntfest World Tour. This one, like, I was really surprised by. I think it's super fun looking. In a lot of ways, like your first couple of shots when you see these big ramps is like, wait, isn't this like the same thing?
At first, I thought it was Trials with cars.
Right.
Yeah, good.
But then, like, pretty much immediately, you see them like eject the driver out, flat out style, and then you're bouncing all over the place. She gets this like kind of wingsuit going, flying over everything, jumps into another car. And then there's all these other things where like there's like series of bounces and fans and stuff putting you up walls as a person.
Just crazy.
You ragdoll really weird, which is great and funny as heck, I think. And then we've got all this stuff where like you're in like a demolition derby section, and then at the end of the trailer, they show like all the cars like reaching the finish line, and then the one in the middle like ejects.
So
to, like,
funny.
throw themselves in at the end. So I don't know how the balance on this stuff is going to work. I don't know how the modes and the objectives are going to work.
Yeah.
It just looks like a lot of fun.
It seems like a very fun, unique idea. Like it feels like we've seen it and played it before, but not. Mm-hmm. Like it is a brand new concept. It's familiar, but it does seem like a brand new kind of game. I'm always down for that.
Yeah, I think the concept is cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious how it all comes together. Like it feels like it could potentially be too jarring when you're like in like the person mode and like that scaling, like that wall with all those platforms and those fans. It's like, is that like a shortcut to get up somewhere, or is that like is that a mode itself? Like it seemed very elaborate.
Yeah. Well, that part seemed like you pretty much have to ditch your car.
Yeah. So it's like, is that part of the course? Like, is there a part where you have to ditch? Like, is that part of the structure? Like, I have a lot of questions after this, but I mean, otherwise, yeah. As long as like it comes together and it like is very self-explanatory once you get your hands on it, I think actually, yeah, you both are right. It's just as long as that's there. If it's not, I could see it kind of becoming like, I don't really like, this is not clicking, you know.
Yeah.
I just would rather it just have been this or that.
Yeah, we talked about Flat Out, but you know the other thing that kind of reminds me of Hubert? Fall Guys.
Fall Guys,
Getting
sure.
back into Fall Guys. It's
Yeah.
like Fall Guys with wrecking cars.
Totally. And Pain. I don't know if you heard me say old game Pain.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got into Pain.
Yeah. Weird one. Kind of had shades of that.
More titles that were at the showcase. I didn't even get to check all these out myself. They had like 14 games on this thing. Gothic is back.
Gothic. Yeah, always want to play those games.
Yeah, hardcore PC RPGs.
Yep.
Reimagining of the 2001 PC game.
Very cool.
There's like a playable teaser, but I was trying to figure out how to
PT?
get it because like I went to exactly. I went to the page for the teaser and I thought it would be downloadable there, but I didn't see a download button, just like a link to the main game. So I don't know if that's still coming out or if there's like some messaging that I missed or they had to pull it temporarily or what.
Word.
But there's supposed to be a teaser out there for the new Gothic.
Cool. Everything's coming back. Everything you ever wanted, everything. All of it. Nightmare Creatures probably in 2 years.
Speaking of, SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake. Remember when they did the SpongeBob remake like a couple years ago?
Oh, rehydrated
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
right? Bikini, yeah.
So that same team's making a brand new game now.
There we go.
Nice.
Going to all kinds of different like environments, westerns, and all kinds of other things with SpongeBob. Yeah.
Awesome.
SpongeBob is relevant across all generations.
I love that though. I love those stories, Blood, when it's like, okay, we'll remaster / like remake this one, and then okay, we did something good here. Let's make a brand new one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Happened with Crash.
Yeah,
Crash
exactly.
4, yeah.
I love that. I love when that happens.
AEW Fight Forever.
Yes.
Got some wrestling in there, Hubert.
Yeah, it looks a little bit janky, but I'm optimistic. Do not worry, I'm optimistic here. I think it could be good.
All right.
Yeah. Everything on paper for this that I've been following sounds good.
Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed, which is just a couple weeks away. Real close on that one. Jagged Alliance 3.
Jagged Alliance. I remember the box at Costco.
Okay.
There was like a woman with a Uzi or a gun or something like shooting up. Yeah.
Wow. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never seen this. I feel like.
But
But you saw it at Costco.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right on that. I swear. It was
not Jagged Alliance,
I
watch.
swear it was Jagged Alliance because I was like, whoa, it looks violent and cool.
There's an RTS called Tempest Rising. There's a game called Space for Sale, which kind of gives me like No Man's Sky vibes, but sort of more top-down, third person. Outcast 2.
Wait, the side scroller?
Let me look at
Outcast? With the colors?
No, I'm not sure what that is. Let me see. Outcast 2 THQ. Let's take a look. Try to remember what that was. Open world sci-fi adventure.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
It wasn't Jagged Alliance either, Huber.
No, it was. Jagged Alliance 2 has exactly what he's talking about.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. I did not dream that.
Pulling up slowly
That
for me. I'm just
was
getting,
reality.
Like, environmental screenshots. But actually, it might be quicker for me to look at the email I had on this guy.
Maybe I'm thinking of Outland.
Outland. I think I know what you're
You're
thinking
thinking of Outland, yes.
Yep.
Land.
That's
That's
it.
me out.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay.
Let me see if I got a
Outcast 2.
description on Outcast though.
Does Embracer Group have Outland?
Outcast 2: A New Beginning. Cutter Slade
Cutter
is on a
Slade.
mission again.
Good God.
Cutter Slade.
The Talons are fighting a desperate war against human invaders, and only Cutter can prevent the Talons from being exterminated in order to pave the way to end the conflict. Developed by Appeal Studios, Outcast 2: A New Beginning is coming soon to PC, PlayStation 5, and Series X. I still don't know what kind of game it is.
Yeah.
Sounds like a survival crafting game. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Cutter Slade.
Just going to throw that out.
That's so 90s. Cutter
Slade. Fantastic. Jealous that, like, I didn't make that up for a D&D name.
I'm jealous that none of our 50 patrons sent that name in for our opening bit.
Well, let me
Slade.
throw this over to Isla because this is a crazy looking trailer.
I have it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, got a rocket pack and all kinds of stuff. Third person action adventure looks like.
Third-person action adventure.
Yo, it's a good shot. I feel like I'm watching Halo.
It's Beyond Good and Evil.
We're getting
Hey,
reactions in our podcast this week.
Yeah, answer that. Whoa, what is... Okay.
Because I didn't even get to this one.
Okay, now I'm thinking
Portals.
Vin Diesel.
Stargate.
Yo, I need
Total
to
Stargate.
rewatch Stargate.
SG-1?
Dude, let's watch Stargate.
The movie.
Oh, the
I've been
movie.
craving the
Me
movie.
too, dude. I've been craving it.
Good.
Spader, dude.
Spader.
Good. I watched it like once every 2 years at least.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it's Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the thing that sends you down from the
Is this Cutter Slade?
raw ship.
Cutter is back.
Unexpected trailer here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the same one I had, but I
This
could,
is the main one on the website. I don't know.
I'm into this.
yeah, this is a totally different trailer.
Whoa,
But-
here we go.
Yo, let's just party. We don't need to attack people. Come on. This took a turn.
Yeah, these... the juxtaposition.
Why am I not
there is-
familiar with Outcast 1 at all?
Blood, this isn't one of those situations where Outcast 1 is like a very, very old game, is it?
Could be. more research I didn't get to.
It's all right. You did, Blood. There are so many games in the showcase. Don't be mad, viewers. There are a lot of games to cover here.
It's just funny. Half of this trailer that Isla found is just like people dancing.
Yeah.
Oh
don't know
no,
what
he's
it is.
too
Shows
late.
up and they're
Oh.
dead.
He's too late to
Oh,
the party.
This took a turn.
Nice.
Yo.
Not on last gen. Making a
That's always
statement.
fun.
Yeah.
A legitimate video game.
But yeah, and then Knights of Honor 2, Sovereign, and then Way of the Hunter, which is coming out soon, and then The Valiant is the last one of those. But yeah, some good
Yeah.
stuff.
There it
coming
is.
out
I
this
remember
year.
this. I knew it, dude. It was
Yeah?
so familiar. This poster with the visor guy, dude.
one?
1999.
Dude, so it's old.
Yes.
Is that a Lucas?
PC Gamer 90%. 1999 Outcast. There's also a remake in 2017 called Outcast Second Contact.
Got it.
A sequel, New Beginning, is coming out.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Got it.
Critically acclaimed, the first one, and named the Adventure Game of the Year by GameSpot in 1999. Little history for it.
Nice. We got more news to come, but if you've been enjoying this podcast so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring the bell over here on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Shopify is more than a store. Connect with your customers, drive sales, manage your day-to-day. Shopify instantly lets you accept all major payment methods. And Shopify has thousands of integrations and third-party apps, from on-demand printing to accounting to advanced chatbots and beyond. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses. So, upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. Believe me, like we never would have tried to sell shirts without help, because seems impossible to manage all that stuff. Shopify is here to help you do that. Shopify powers millions of businesses from first scale to full scale. Reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. Synchronize your online and in-person sales. Gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. More than a store, Shopify grows with you. This is possibility powered by Shopify. Go to shopify.com/allies, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Shopify is spelled Shopify. Shopify.com/allies, all lowercase. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/allies right now. Shopify.com/allies. Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp. It's important to take care of your mind, whether that's meditating, going for a walk, doing whatever. How would you take care of your car if you had the same car your entire life? That's like your brain. You got to take care of it. Take it to the brain mechanic. The therapist, that's a brain mechanic. How we care for our minds affects how we experience life. And it's important that we invest time and care into keeping them healthy. There are plenty of ways to support a healthy brain, like learning a new language or taking power naps. And there's also BetterHelp online therapy. I personally have been in therapy, in and out, basically my entire life, since I was like a kid. I remember telling my mom, I'm like, I want to go to a therapist. Like, this isn't working. And I've used BetterHelp before when my dad was on hospice and I was out of LA, and it was very helpful. Helped me out a lot with gender stuff, grief. Talking to a therapist is really good. And BetterHelp is a great way to do it, especially if you are not somewhere where it's easy to get to a therapist in person. It's also cheaper. BetterHelp in general. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, live chat therapy sessions, so you don't have to show up on camera if you don't want to. Some people don't want to be seen, you just want to be heard. And I think that that's really great that they do that. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, typically. That's definitely true. I think BetterHelp was like half of the cost of my in-person therapist. You can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. And, important, with a therapist in real life or BetterHelp, you can shop around. If you don't like one that you get, just get a different one. You know? You could change therapists on BetterHelp. I did it. It's easy. And it's not scary or embarrassing, which is nice. Our listeners, did you know this? Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/allies. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/allies. 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/allies. Check it out. Take your brain to the brain mechanic. Okay, thanks, bye.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. Huber, I don't know if you heard about this.
Uh-oh.
There was
Have we been embraced?
an Iron Man game
I saw the
by the
headline.
Just Cause
Huber,
devs.
we've been embraced. We're all millionaires now.
Got canceled. But yeah, during an interview with MinMax, hey, Ben Hansen.
Yeah.
Get out of our Discord, Ben Hansen.
No, he's fine.
Quit
He's
pitching
fine.
your shit in our Discord, Ben Hansen.
He doesn't do that.
Yes, he does, but we embrace it.
We embrace.
I
Embrace
it.
We
everyone.
embrace.
We love you, Ben Hansen.
Loving embrace, Ben Hansen.
Loving embrace of Ben Hansen. I
Yes.
actually told someone today to go talk to Ben Hansen.
Nice.
Go to benhansen.com/allies.
But Ben was talking to Christopher Sundberg, who was one of the co-founders of Avalanche. He's moved on from there since 2019.
Got it.
But he revealed that they were working on an Iron Man game for 2 years
Damn.
before it got canceled.
Damn.
And they said that basically Disney and Marvel wanted them to speed up production, hire like 70 or 80 people, and then he was like, yeah, that would have meant that he would have also had to find those people projects to work on after that game was done. And it's just like he said it would have broken the studio completely.
Jeez.
If we had agreed to that. And then hiring all those developers would have been a complete nightmare. We kind of know a little bit about that now, Isla.
Suck it, Gabby. Just hiring someone is a chore.
But we went through like 30, 60 people, something crazy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Could
I
you
read
imagine?
like 70 plus, whatever they're called, resumes.
But could you imagine doing that for 70 to 80 positions?
Good God, no.
Wow. Woo! Wow.
Apparently, the game would have enabled players to take off and fly anywhere. Had a focus on melee combat, and had you could use Iron Man's repulsors to punch characters through walls.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just saw Minority Report, the game in my brain, shooting him through the glass. So cool. You get the little like.
Oh yeah,
that thing, but it's in the game and they go like flying. It's so cool. Blood, this is a match made in heaven. This is a bummer this never came out. Just Cause cross Iron Man. I mean, the gameplay just makes sense. That makes so much sense. It's like we always talk about From Software make a Castlevania game. It's like just these matches we want.
And what's crazy is like, we've been asked that question so many times, right? It's like, who would you want to make what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever put those two and two together. Like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
This would be great.
Totally Bloodworth. Do we know if it was a movie tie-in or if it was its own Iron Man game?
I don't know that.
Okay. Because I know they had those like 360 Iron Man games, and those were so poor.
Right.
That Superman Returns game, like, just the troubled history of superhero games is tragic. I mean, even before Batman Arkham Asylum, the Dark Knight game that never came out, read into that one. It's going to be this open world Dark Knight game. I think maybe there's gameplay out there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they're saying this was canceled in 2012. Right, so the Iron Man games that you're thinking of, the Sega ones that me and Damiani reviewed, those were 2008 and 2010.
So this would have been the redemption.
So this would have been like, okay, they were not happy with what Sega did.
Yep.
They went to Avalanche. Avalanche started working on this. They took 2 years, and then they're like, you got to hurry this up. Come on, it's time. And they're like, no, we're not going to finish this. We're not going to do this.
Yeah, we got a new movie coming out. Let's go.
I know.
Hurry
what
up.
the heck?
But I think this would have been even after the movie, right? Or would have
What was
been
Iron Man 3?
What year was Iron Man?
Avengers
3?
was 2012, so Iron Man 3 was
2013.
yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that is why.
Avengers and that,
Even if it wasn't based on it.
Yeah. Gotta ride them.
Correct,
thing
May
wave.
3rd, 2013.
Yeah, now we got.
That's it. That's why.
Yeah, and you can play as Iron Man in the Avengers game, and I like the Avengers game. I don't think it's great, but I do like it. I know it's got its own set of problems, but you don't really feel like Iron Man in that game. I mean, you fly around, you blast, and you punch. It's cool, but it's like not Iron Man like that. When I
Right.
watch a freaking Avengers movie and Tony Stark's
It's
jumping out
almost
of
like
a
you're in a
plane.
corridor or something, right?
Exactly. It's so suffocating, That's the main problem with Avengers for me is like it feels like you're in a box.
Yeah.
Iron Man VR.
I actually never played that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2020.
Yeah.
That was actually.
I don't know if that made you feel like Iron Man.
I've
anymore,
heard
but-
like a lot of good things about that game.
I think
I
Jones
haven't played
dug
it
it.
myself. Yeah.
I think I remember Jones being that was cool.
But I know I get you, Huber, about like a more open environment with free roaming is like kind of necessitated for a game with like those what mechanics you want to see happen with Iron Man. It's like, and as you said, like was it Just Cause or Fire?
Just Cause.
Just Cause. Sorry,
Cause,
Just
yeah,
Cause was like that game. Like screams like
Yeah, you're like surf on the side of a plane on that game.
yeah.
I just think of, obviously Insomniac and Rocksteady are the benchmarks for superhero games, but I think of just Spider-Man.
That-
What
yes, Insomniac,
happens
yeah.
when you make when you do it perfectly, you know, when you do it right, and just
the
how
gadgets.
just zipping around as Spider-Man in that game, you know, top 3 favorite things to do in a video game ever. I'm sorry, is just zipping through. You know, if we can just get a game where it really feels like you're flying around as Iron Man. I know everyone wanted Anthem to kind of be that, you know, that didn't work out very well, but
different suits, man, with different gameplay mechanics.
big
so many Iron Man
ones,
suits.
you know?
Or multiplayer.
Yes.
War Machine and you could have been like a thing. You
Co-op. Yeah, co-op would be great.
Co-op would have been sick. Oh man,
Heck
what
yeah.
could have been?
Yeah.
Man.
What could have been? Canceled game, so tale as old as time.
Yeah,
Tragic tales.
I feel like though that there is sort of like, I don't know if Spider-Man was the first, but I feel like there's a split in the like that Marvel Disney attitude towards how they were approaching these games.
Oh, Spider-Man 2. When was Spider-Man 2? On PS2.
Oh,
That game's incredible.
that was
It came
before
out in
Disney.
2004.
yeah,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of the best.
Yeah.
And they nailed it at the time.
Right, but I'm thinking like at around the same time as Iron Man came out, the bad Iron Man games we played.
Yeah.
But you also had like, there's the Captain America game, there was the Thor game.
Love that Captain America game, the first Avenger. That one's cool.
So it was still in like
2004 video game.
Wolverine game too.
X-Men Origins Wolverine,
Right,
one of the
better-
best
but
there
again,
is.
every one of these.
One of the best.
Well, that would have been under the Fox
Yeah,
license, I think.
One of the
at
best.
the time.
But I think every one of those was kind of like, it was seen as the movie marketing tie-in kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it does feel like potentially this game was still in that era. Oh no, you've got to have it out with the movie.
Yeah.
It's got to support the movie.
Yes.
And now I think that they've seen with Spider-Man, with Guardians of the Galaxy, that
Arkham Asylum.
you know
don't-
they don't have to
Yeah.
necessarily do that.
Yeah,
Totally.
very true. But shout outs to Avalanche for being responsible.
Yeah.
In this case, like
Yeah.
foreseeing like the damage, long term damage would have done just for like a short term gain and like turning it down. I mean, yeah. could've-
Shout out.
Yeah.
Great point,
We might
Tony.
have like loved that game, but like how many people would have been like, you know, potentially displaced when he's like, well, I got to fire half the team now. We just finished this great game, but yeah, that's you don't really see that much, you know, in this industry, especially from like higher profile studios like that.
Yeah. Making a big Iron Man game when the MCU's kicking
Yeah, and then like saying no to that too as well.
Yeah.
So like, well, we're not gonna work on this
Yeah.
anymore. Bye, I canceled. Sorry. It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
You're walking away from me. You can't do that. You can't quit.
Oh, and then our last big story, which is probably smaller, but it's something that just like it caught my eye. I'm like, really, this is nuts. Because I get Call of Duty emails like I feel like every day, every day or every other day.
Every day.
And so like a lot of them, like they kind of just pass over me or I pass it to you. It's like, do you think this is cool? You know, that kind of thing. Call of Duty's digital pre-orders get the campaign a week early.
Yo.
Activision just stabbing physical shops in the throat, basically. If you pre-order the digital edition of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, you'll receive early campaign access in addition to the previously announced rewards. Pre-ordering a digital copy will grant players up to a week to complete the single-player campaign before the full game launches on October 28th. So
I'm
you
all about
get
the campaigns.
the campaign on October 20th. The game launches on the 28th, which means that's when it'll be in stores.
Yeah.
So
They just learn that their game comes. They just break street date all the time. So just like, you know what? Let's just like let it out there digitally.
Honestly,
like take
yep.
that.
Honestly, dude. Yep. It's wild too because in the past you always saw the multiplayer early access.
right.
Yeah.
Now it's the campaign. It's wild to think about. Well documented history of my love and engagement with the Call of Duty franchise over the course of, since the beginning, the PC original. Come in and out. I come in and out all the time of Call of Duty. In and out, in and out. Loved the Modern Warfare remake. I really, really love that one. The last couple, I have not been that into, but now that we're back to Modern Warfare 2 remake, I'm intrigued again. I have high hopes for the campaign. I really like the campaign of Modern Warfare Remake 1. And obviously the original Modern Warfares are, that whole trilogy is freaking awesome. So I got some questions. Modern Warfare 2 has some controversial, hardcore missions that I wonder how they're going to be handled now. You know, I'm very intrigued on multiple
you keep
levels.
coming back at that because it's not a remake. It's not trying to recreate those events.
Still, but there's
But you're
gotta,
just saying because it's the same name, you think it's the same expectations?
I think so. And it's a catalyst for huge events in this timeline. Like, you have to have a big thing to kick a big thing off. So I wonder. I want to know. I want to know how it's going to work out. But
So
I'm
maybe-
so intrigued.
Maybe not exactly the same thing that happened in Modern Warfare 2, but
Yeah.
like something similar
Something
that's
intense.
controversial.
Yeah,
that's
some intense
I see.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I just don't know.
But I mean, how crazy is this though? That like all you have to do is pre-order. You don't have to buy the deluxe edition. You don't have to do anything
Yeah.
like that. You
Yeah.
just pre-order online instead of going to a store.
Yeah, I feel like they're just reading the market that like the digital sales, you know, it just keeps skewing further and further in favor of digital sales, and they're just like trying to get more and more people on board with that. I think it's better for them probably to sell direct, you know, or
Probably,
through
yeah.
the storefronts than going through, you know, brick and mortar distributors anymore. Like, you know, the reduction.
I mean, even Amazon, really, like
Yeah.
anywhere that you would get a physical copy.
Yeah, I mean, and like they still charge the same amount for the digital, you know, as you would buy a thing. So you don't have to pay for the packaging and stuff anymore. So they'd probably all love it if like, oh, you don't have to like make a physical copy anymore, and we still charge $60-$70 for these games. That's like that's their dream. So I think they're just like, you know, incentivizing that and like further, you know, expediting that process towards they get as many people on board. And like as you said, it might sting for people who want the physical copy, but like they might even get people to double dip. Like, I'll pre-order digitally, and then I'll go pick up my physical because I want to play it a week early, and then I'll go pick up my physical copy. I mean,
Oh, sure.
It feels like
If they get one of those big box collector's
it
editions,
does
yeah.
feel like it's very much like angled that way, that they've done their market research and they're like, this is where we want to go with this. So,
You still get physical here and there.
Here and there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trade it to a buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad hooking it up, dude. I was about to buy Gran Turismo
Brad is
7.
like the king of physical right now.
Yeah, I was about to buy Gran Turismo 7 because I haven't bought it yet. I've been so busy. And he's like, "Oh, I got the disc, so you can borrow it." I was like, "Yes." Sorry, Poly
digital polyphony.
Digital Epiphany. Yeah,
Polyphony Digital.
gonna borrow
Sorry,
borrowing
thanks
it from
for
Brad.
saving me there.
I mean, that's fine. That's to be expected.
Yeah,
You know, it's only in the digital era these past few years that hasn't been an option. You know,
totally.
You know, like the
Yeah.
majority of NES games and Super NES games that we talked about,
Yeah.
that we played as kids, our parents were going to buy all that crap. You
Nope.
kidding me?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Trade
That is
'em
either
around.
Trading with friends, trading with teachers,
Yeah.
trading with my editor at the newspaper.
Rules.
If anyone I could trade with, I was trading with, you know, and it's like it wasn't permanent. We just, you know, would borrow it and give
Love
it back
that.
when we're done.
Yeah, such good stuff, but you knew companies hated that stuff. They've all hated it from like day one. So all those like big court cases were for about like when people could record on VHS and stuff, and like
Right.
and Blockbuster when it came along with rentals and stuff, like they all hated that stuff. So now that we're at this precipice, now they're like, hey, it finally came back, and it's like, you know what, like we're gonna win in the end here.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to share your digital copies. We could delist it. Like that's their dream. Like it's always been about like control and stuff like that. So.
Totally.
Yeah, I do still root for like the physical thing, but man, like there definitely are conveniences for sure. And like when you put stuff like this, like again, I know I just said it earlier, but like if this is a game I was actually really into, and it's like, man, digital version give me a week early. I'm getting that digital version for sure.
Yeah, like I'm still on the Walking Dead train, and if you do AMC Plus, you get that a week early. You get an episode a full week early.
Wow.
Dang.
It's
Yeah.
the best for spoilers. It is the absolute best defense because no one is talking about the episode you're watching, and you just watch it and like you go online after. No one's talking about it because no one gets this like bonus. It's AMC Plus, so it's like
Yeah.
But
This
that's
is
a
the
huge
similar-
point, though.
It
You're
is
talking about this could
huge.
be controversial. You're talking about there could be big moments.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, if I got a physical, now I'm gonna get spoiled by
Yeah.
some dude on Twitter because
So-
I have to wait a week to get my copy.
Yeah. It's like, it sucks that it is like this business practice, you know. But as a consumer,
how many articles are going to be out there
I
talking
know.
about spoilers in that
Totally.
7 days?
As a consumer, that was always, to me, the best reward is early access to something.
Yeah.
It truly, just as a straight up consumer, it's like, oh, you get this early, dude. Like, this is something I'm excited about. Like, obviously, I want to do that. And it's nice, like you said, that it is less malicious. It's not the digital deluxe insane edition. It's like, dude, just a pre-order of the regular game. That's it.
Well,
Yeah.
Blood, this raises an interesting question too for like on our end, like for reviewers, is the review embargo still the actual release day, or is it like, does it go up when this goes up, or what? Like,
Well,
are
they
these
usually-
people pre-ordering? Yeah.
Yeah, because EA and other companies have had these kind of things as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so a lot of most of the time that I've seen, it's like as soon as the public can get it in any form,
The reviews go
then
up.
that's when the reviews or whatever can go live.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they'll even be like, yeah, the game's going to be available in Australia at the specific time. So
Yeah. There you go.
Except for like what company wasn't it like Skyrim or Bethesda or somebody stopped giving out advanced copies?
Oh,
like
that was way back.
Yeah.
They've totally
they stopped
Yeah.
doing that.
abandoned all of that stuff. Yeah.
Because like it'd be pretty insidious if like the review embargo is still the actual release date, so it's like everyone pre-orders it raw, you know?
Oh well, that can happen still
Yeah.
for reviews, but what you're thinking of with Bethesda is they weren't giving reviewers the game at
Right,
all
right.
until the public could get it for a
Yeah.
couple of years there.
Yeah.
I think this is poised to potentially, I mean, it always is. It's Call of Duty, but I feel like it's kind of like muted, this release. I don't know.
Well, the last one did really bad,
yeah.
you know, for Call of Duty numbers.
And Warzone, you know, with cheating and all that, and you know, Warzone has had its struggles, but Warzone 2 I know is supposed to be launching.
Yeah, Warzone's had its struggles, but Warzone's been a success.
And of
Mobile's been a
course,
success.
huge success. But it's still like, for the most dedicated players, it's had its issues lately. So I feel like this is another moment in the long history of Call of Duty to have it's kind of a new chapter. It feels like
Yeah. I just
could be
think-
big. It will be big. It's Call of Duty, obviously. It's
yeah,
it's like a rocket science.
Sure. I think the online specific ones though, like Warzone, just future ones like those are just going to be like their biggest things. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be
Yeah.
harder and harder.
It's all a vehicle for
Yeah.
Warzone.
Yeah, it's going that direction. So I mean, if it doesn't feel like these are as big of a deal as they used to, it's not just because they come out so frequently. It's not even that argument. Well, there's some weight to that's like it's been eclipsed by something. Like they made something like that's more enticing to a larger like fan base and larger consumer base, and they go with that. The other thing I wanted to add though about the physical digital thing real quick is the only thing that does kind of suck, and I'm not just like with Activision doing what they're doing with Modern Warfare 2, but like every other company, like almost none of these companies include, they don't do it like movies do. They don't include like a digital code for like you buy the DVD Blu-ray, which is usually the more expensive thing, and then it comes with the code for the digital version. Like it should, I honestly think it should be, if you buy a physical version, you should get a code for the digital version as well. Like I don't like understand. They're just being greedy at that point. In my
it'd be convenient in some ways.
yeah, I feel like it's a little bit like it's for first party releases. The very least, it should probably be this way. So
Yeah.
for like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, they control their storefronts. Third parties is a little bit different. I can understand if that's a little bit like more difficult.
Well, and also, I definitely wish that was the case for my, because I wanted to do the upgrades for Resident Evil Remake 2.
Yeah.
But I had that physical on PS4.
Yep.
And so I can't,
Or
because I don't have a disc drive.
you don't have a disc.
See,
Right.
yeah.
I just
Yeah,
can't
it
ever
gets-
do that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xbox One had some crazy plan to go with that and got so much backlash because, again, it would basically have meant that you couldn't let people borrow your games, you know, or there would be like weird things when you'd want to sell it and all of that.
The famous
Yeah. Yeah.
classic.
But it would have essentially like registered your disc to your account, which is kind of different than what you're talking about for sure. Yeah, the movies, they just like give you both. Here you go.
Yeah, just a little insert that's got the code on it, and just like, or when you now, if you put the disc in, it just says, "Hey, would you like to download your like digital version as well?" Because like sometimes like for certain games when we get codes, like it comes with like I imagine it's for like public versions of codes too. Like you get the PS4 and PS5 version sometimes when you redeem a code. So it's like some companies already do that where you get 2 versions of game, especially digitally. So it's like just kind of like merge that all together and like just you put in a disc. It's like, would you like to also get it? Just unlocks it all and like you get it. And like the tier pricing should just be behind like collector's editions and stuff. Like that's where you like.
Do you think if they did that? Do you think physical will ever be more expensive than digital? Base?
If that happened, I think
like if
it
you
should.
Like if it's 75 for the physical or
that's
something.
what Damiani is saying is like they can make the more money on the digital just by having it at the same price.
That's why they like that, Whereas like the movie industry, they probably are kicking themselves for doing it because the precedent's already been established. They probably get too much backlash. It's probably like, I mean, even the 4K version of something, it's like $19.99 or $24.99, whatever those cost now for those Blu-rays. Like they want the digital version, like it should also be that. Like look storefronts like Amazon or iTunes or whatever. You got like the HD version, you got like the SD version, and they've tried to like close that gap a bit where like digital has historically been like cheapest, and then now you got like during the pandemic we had like the day one movie releases, which like the price more expensive than the price of a ticket. It's like $30. It's like like they you could tell they would have done it too if they had foreseen where all this went. So I don't see game companies ever doing like what movies did because they stand to make too much money that way.
Do you remember that middle period of Blu-ray when you would get the Blu-ray, a DVD, and the digital ultraviolet?
Yeah.
Just for buying a Blu-ray?
That was
Violet.
So
that
weird.
was 100% done just to get people to transition to a new medium. Like they were eating that cost. Like they would.
Well, but so many times I bought a Blu-ray and I was like, oh, I got the DVD too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like the DVD, that's the thing.
Printing DVDs.
It's
like 5 cents.
a couple pennies.
Yeah.
Wild.
Stack of those DVD-Rs, baby.
Also this week, Sunsoft is back. They had an 8-minute little presentation where they had like a VTuber character.
Oh no.
It was a little weird. It was kind of hard to understand. It had a very thick accent, so he's like, you need to put the subtitles on. But it looks like they're basically, at this point, they're either re-releasing or reimagining retro games. So the 3 games they had in there, there was Iki Unite, which is it looks like a new game. But apparently, like the original Iki was like one of these like Japanese games that was like known as being a crappy game. Okay. But it was like this whole trend to where like people would like flock to these crap games on the Famicom, and so it sold like 500 to 700,000 copies or whatever.
Okay.
But now, because I guess they're saying they didn't have the technology to do like the full co-op experience or whatever. Now they're making a co-op roguelike based on the original.
Wow.
All right.
Famicom game.
Co-op roguelite. I like the sound of that.
So-
Sure, sign me up.
Yeah, so that's a crazy one.
You're in, bro.
And then
You're in.
Gimmick, which we mentioned earlier, was going through like the Embracer Group thing. Like that's one of their games. So apparently the Swedish company doing those retro games is linked up with Sunsoft as well.
Okay.
I've never heard of Gimmick before. I saw the footage of this. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And then the one that I know, Euphoria. Ryan Stevens turned me on to this. This was like, this is the Metroidvania before Metroidvania was the term. I mean, at this point, Metroid, there was only one game. Castlevania wasn't doing anything Metroidvania related. But it's a cool game, and so Euphoria is coming out for PC, Switch, Xbox, and PS4 next year.
Nice.
And then Gimmick is coming out later this year.
Is Ryan Stevens pumped?
I haven't seen his reaction, but I'm sure. Euphoria is great.
Nice.
I think it has like some special chip in it, like let them do some things maybe with the soundtrack that you can't do on most NES games. Cool. Yeah, I don't know all the details, but it's a very. It was actually one of the first games that I streamed.
Wow.
When we were streaming from like the equipment closet
I
at
remember.
Viacom.
Yep.
So like I streamed some of that game, and then like after work I was like, I want to play some more, and like, oh, I could just keep streaming. And, like, I'd basically stream the full playthrough
Nice.
of Euphoria.
That's so jolly.
Dude, these
bud.
character names are amazing in Euphoria.
Yeah.
The main character's name is Bop Louie,
Bop
Yep.
Louie.
and his friends' names are Shade, Freon Leon, and Gil.
Nice.
Yeah. Very fun
I had a
game.
high school buddy named Gil.
Of course he did.
There is a character in Luke Cage called Shades.
The Arcade Crew and Joy Masher developer Blazing Chrome
Yes.
Yeah.
announced Vengeful Guardian. Roll
Yes!
this trailer.
Yeah.
It's a side-scrolling action game. It looks pretty sick.
Hell yeah, Blazing Chrome was sick. Love
Blazing Chrome.
Love Blazing Chrome. Ben and I played it at Easy Living, if you recall.
Oh, nice.
We were hyped as shit on Blazing Chrome, and this just looks awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's got kind of Contra vibes in there.
Yep.
You're like some kind of like
Brad is
Robo
somewhere-
ninja samurai.
Brad is somewhere licking his lips at this. This is the most Brad Ellis joint possible.
Yeah. Lots
Guy's
of slashes,
probably
lots
pumped.
of jump kicks, lots of just the shot he deflects
Yo,
the bullets.
Is that top 3 things ever deflecting bullets with a sword?
Dude, yeah, that's an auto run in Revengeance. This
Yeah.
auto parry is like, yes.
Top 3 coolest things, period. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff. There's a motorcycle in there that you hop off of. I don't know if that's just like a can sequence or what that's about. Mm-hmm. But good stuff.
Hyped as
Some of
hell for
those
this.
Over the like rungs. I talked about Kabuki Quantum Fighter
Yeah.
Last week, I think.
Yeah.
And this got
I think
some
the
of that
week before,
mechanics. Yeah.
I think you were telling me about it. Yeah.
The former Hands of Fate developers,
Love Hand of Fate 1 and 2 so much.
they revealed this superhero tactics game called Capes. Seems to be a lot like XCOM, Midnight Suns. So you've got your tactical thing going on, but then you've got your superheroes. I'm not sure like how it all works. I'm a little guarded on this one
A
though.
bit on a budget.
Yeah, little guarded.
Like framey in the trailer
This is
in ways that you could even fix in edit. Like it's weird. The edit is very
these are the
choppy
ground
and
level
strange.
superheroes taking it to the streets.
Street level superheroes
Street
are my
levels,
favorite.
yeah.
That's my absolute favorite. But yeah, I love the just showing like a second of gameplay and then cutting back to those characters is weird.
Well, I think it's an in-game cutscene where you start
Yeah.
that ability or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that-
Also, the character's looking way different in the menu.
Yeah, I was
Weird.
like, whoa, okay.
It's a weird trailer, but again, I love Hand of Fate 1 and 2 so much, even though I never finished either of those games because you get to the very, 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 very end. And I just, I have a bad draw. There's like some RNG at the end of each of those where I just could never beat either of them. But that's not to say that I didn't put a ton of time into both of them. They're freaking excellent video games. I love them.
Yeah.
So
I just think this has a uphill battle with Midnight Suns coming in.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like you got.
I mean, that's probably
generic
way
superheroes.
higher budget.
Yeah, generic superheroes versus big budget versus the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just, the most important thing, one of the most important things for me, anytime I get hyped for a movie or a game or whatever it is who's making it.
Yeah.
Who is making it? And I love Hand of Fate, so I'll be watching.
Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is coming October 18th.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right
Very
in time.
good timing.
Yep.
Good timing.
Yeah.
But crowded timing.
Crowded
Very
timing.
crowded time. Oh man, I'm gonna be out of town that week.
What?
But yeah, that's the 4v1 game from the makers of Predator Hunting Grounds, Ilphonic.
Dude, shoutouts to Prey.
Shout out to Prey. Shout out to the Predators game.
I gotta watch Prey still.
I watched
out
it.
to Elise and
I was
James.
not as impressed as I had hoped I'd be.
Blood hated it. Blood straight up.
No.
I like get a Slack message and Blood's like, I'm not sure what everyone's talking about with this Prey. Like, the pacing was strange and I didn't care about any of the characters.
Wow,
Just like, I don't know, I haven't
okay.
seen it yet, Blood.
Coming in hot.
My girlfriend's mom is in town. I haven't seen
Yeah,
time to
sorry. I
watch
thought
it.
you had seen it.
No, I should
thought
have
you
seen
see
it.
everything.
Well, in normal reality, I do.
I'm usually the last person to see any movie in this company. So.
It's true.
After 27 years at Capcom, Hiroyuki
Yeah.
Kobayashi has left the company to join NetEase as a producer, which he announced on his 50th birthday.
Yeah.
Kobayashi
End of an
worked
era.
on Dragon's Dogma, basically the whole Resident Evil series,
Yup.
DMC, among others. NetEase has been increasing their Japanese presence, particularly snagging
NetEase.
Yakuza's Toshihiro Nagoshi, who's got his own studio now.
Yeah.
Unclear whether they'll be working together.
It's kind of scary. Resident Evil's crushing it, so I'm not really scared there. But it's still like you start losing these key people that are responsible for so many great games. Like, Nagoshi with Yakuza. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that whole franchise is gonna look different now. You obviously games are made by hundreds of people all the time. It's not just one or two people, but leadership and vision, I
Yeah.
think, matter so much. So it'll be interesting to see how Resident Evil and Yakuza go forward and what NetEase is up to.
I'm wondering about Dragon's Dogma 2. Like, to me, Dragon's Dogma is one of my favorite games.
Yes.
And it's so bad and so great.
So
And it's like lightning struck in the perfect mixture of insane ideas. Like
Ambition.
impossible ambition.
just raw ambition.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
crazy reach that like they couldn't quite nail, and it's perfect. It like came out. It came out so well, and like I'm so worried that it won't strike twice for 2.
It will.
And like every time someone leaves the company, I'm always like, "Ooh, is that part of the mix that we need?" And like, oh
Right.
man.
Wave 64 is out for Switch Online expansion pack members.
Didn't I make a bet on this? Did I win some bet? Come on.
No.
Anyone-
Red Sky can tell us, but I don't,
Yeah,
I
We
don't
have
know.
a literal website
I-
for tracking all the bets you make.
No. Did not.
I mean, I've been saying Wave Race something, whether it be a re-release. I could have sworn I put some money on this.
This had to happen on the week that Dawn's out for some reason.
I know.
No.
We just played Blue Storm on stream.
Ah,
I want to embrace our group Dawn right now.
yeah. Oh, I can't wait for the Dawn playthrough of this.
Yeah.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for Dawn. Good
Well,
for
I
Dawn.
mean, last year or the year before, he was just doing like those regular, like trying to get the best times in Wave 64.
I want him to keep doing that.
Yeah, yeah, he'll probably jump back in at least once.
Just realized I haven't even played the Resident Evil version, the new one that re-released with PlayStation Plus.
What?
Haven't even done that. They put the digital version of Director's Cut on there, Resident Evil Director's Cut.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Just old games coming back digitally.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Just a little touch up.
I bought that on my Steam Deck while I had COVID.
And finally, Dragon Ball's in Fortnite.
Yeah.
You guys played it earlier. What's it like?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's chaos in there. It's absolute chaos. Death from above. I saw the Kamehameha when my character was obliterated. But we did get someone.
Yeah, you-
we were, and it
Yeah.
was fitting. We were She-Hulk because that came out technically today.
Okay.
And we Kamehameha someone and took him out. So we did get a
So
kill with
She-Hulk
it.
can also Kamehameha.
It's an item on the map.
Okay.
So the only Dragon Ball things that I've seen on the map are Kami House. It's off to the east. Those islands over there, you can land on the island. Bulma's there walking around. And then you'll see space pods, the old classic Vegeta Nappa Saiyan space pod. They crash and they release a capsule, you know, the Bulma like capsule core things. And then in there, you can get 2 key items. One is the Nimbus Cloud. It's on a cooldown. You can use it unlimited, but it has a 20-second cooldown.
Got it.
You leap up into the air and then you're riding, you know, Nimbus. And then the Kamehameha is you pick it up, you get 3 blasts, consumable, and you just click it and you jump into the air, you know, and then you charge it up. You hear Goku, Kamehameha, just blast. A little tricky, you know. I've missed a bunch. You can watch the stream. I
Finish
missed,
it.
yeah, I missed a lot of shots, but we did get one, so it was satisfying.
Excellent.
And in classic Fortnite fashion, you know, this will not be here forever, so it's cool to celebrate, you know, Dragon Ball. And just do it while you can, you know, blast some Kamehamehas. It's free to play. You don't have to be Goku. You don't have to be Vegeta or anyone. Just jump in, find the Kamehameha, and start blasting.
Excellent.
I really want you to finish the Kamehameha.
Kamehameha! when they do like
Gohan.
3 different angles. They replay it from like 3 different.
The edit.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. The best.
Oh, I should have done that with cameras. I should have been like,
Still to this day, my favorite one is in movie 1, Dead Zone. He does a Kamehameha in there that is just short and sweet and awesome. It's my all-time favorite one.
Nice.
Love it. Thank you.
It's time for Love and Respect. Love and Respect. From Zachary Clark. Hey, allies. Been a patron since day one, but first time asking a question.
Nice.
Welcome.
Yeah.
I've recently been playing Shin-Chan, Me and the Professor on summer vacation.
Gotta buy this. I want to play
Been
this so
seeing
bad.
so much love for this game, which has been super chill and fun. However, I have no experience with source material, and now I am keen to read the manga or watch the anime. Are there any licensed games that introduced you to a non-video game franchise, and did it inspire you to engage with the source material?
Any licensed games that introduced you to... So the game was the first time you introduced
Game
to the
first time
property.
you jumped into something. Could have been Dragon Ball or One Piece or something like that.
Definitely not Dragon Ball. Toonami, baby.
Definitely not Naruto.
I played Vampire the Masquerade before the game.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
On
That's a good one.
tabletop, yeah.
That's
a
great one.
That's
Well,
actually
no, I did it backwards. I did the
Oh.
source material, so
Shit.
it doesn't count.
Shit.
yeah. So that's actually one for me. Like and then it reminded me like, oh, I need to go back and finish Swan Song.
Oh, yeah.
I like that game, but I have no clue about any of that universe. Another one I was thinking of is Vermintide.
Oh, yeah.
Those Warhammer games. Like I've never played Warhammer. Always saw it in the magazine.
Warhammer, sure.
Yeah.
I played Warhammer Online, actually, was my introduction into Warhammer. I was a greenskin freaking orc. And they looked so cool in that game. Oh my god, Warhammer Online. Everything just looked cool.
I guess I painted a Warhammer 40K thing when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So I never played it. I only had one. It was a Space Marine, and I painted it, and that was it. And I just kind of looked at it sometimes.
Struggling.
We talked about.
I'll do another
We
one.
talked about Little Nemo last week. Did you ever play Little Nemo back in the day?
Oh, I mean, I did, but I didn't know what I was doing in it, so I guess that counts. But
Right.
like, I never, yeah. I was like, how do you play? How do you go anywhere in this game? It's like, I mean, let you level select, but like, I didn't know you needed stuff, so like, always go to last level. I'm like, why can't you win? It's like, what? I'm so confused.
Why can't you win? You don't have any items.
How many items? What? What's going on here?
Another Warhammer game, Space Marine. The Warhammer Space Marine game.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, I can't really think of anything else.
This happens with movies more than games, I guess. Like, you see the movie, and then you're like, oh, yeah, I should read that book.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold every friggin'. It feels like every movie is a book,
Yeah.
right? It's crazy.
I do want to read the Mist books. Doesn't
Oh.
exactly fit,
Right.
because they were written concurrently or after, but I do want to read those.
Transmedia.
Yeah.
Christian Jimenez asks, "Hi, Blood, Mike, Square, and Isla.
Nice.
What is the driving force behind wanting our favorite games, books, and films, TV shows to continue expanding their universes? With the ending of Better Call Saul this week as one of the greatest shows, along with Breaking Bad, others want that universe to continue on with some other spinoff.
No.
Personally, I think it's better just let it end.
Yes.
Enjoy what we got.
Yes.
Thanks, love and respect."
I
Yeah.
agree.
Things need to end to give them meaning. It's you're seeing the MCU wheels fall off for a lot of
The
people.
Star Wars wheels.
And Star Wars as well. You know, when things don't end and go forever, it becomes disposable and it loses meaning and impact. You know, you've seen it with big franchises like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty, franchises that I used to absolutely be obsessed with, that I used to call some of the best in the industry. And then now it's just like every year, you know, obviously like a year off with DLC and, you know, Assassin's Creed, like,
Right.
But for the most part, every single year, and when it's every year, it's just not as special. So, yeah, that's where I stand on it.
Yeah. I mean, some of the best stuff like was short and sweet and ended,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
why Breaking Bad.
people demanded more. I mean, yes, it got another attempt at a retelling in the recent Netflix live action adaptation. But Cowboy Bebop, for the longest time, people are like, "Where's the sequel? Why aren't they making more of this?" Like, it's one of the most popular things. Like, did not touch it, left it as is. It's like perfect. So I was like, also you run the risk of like diminishing the value and the impact of the original. So yeah, I definitely like that. I like things that like just run its course, stop, and you don't need to keep it going. But I want to challenge you a little bit, Huber, here, because I know you're just making this argument. Yeah. So like Boruto, like just more and more Naruto, just keep going and going and going.
Okay. Here's to the nuance, right? The deeper meaning. Okay. So when something ends, like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Legendary, revered, untouchable, basically. Now, though, with Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and Boruto, I still like those things. They just fall into a different category, It's not as special. It doesn't have the highs that they once did, but by things never ending and having that never-ending roller coaster type thing, it's comfort. So Boruto now is just like my comfort thing. It's not a big deal, like a Call of Duty comes out, Modern Warfare 2, sure, I'll hop in. It's comforting. It's not this, oh my God, here comes Call of Duty. It's been 5 years since the last one. This is supposed to be one of the last ones. It's like, there's more hype when that's the case. But when something goes on endlessly, it just becomes familiar and comforting. And that's cool too. But I prefer when things end to give them maximum impact and meaning.
Like, should have stopped Terminator after 2.
Should have stopped. Terminator does end after 2. Resident Evil is kind of in this weird middle ground, right? If someone's like, well, what about Resident Evil? That just never ends. The franchise doesn't move forward all the time. We're getting a lot of remakes. So it's like we haven't moved. You look at like when Resident Evil 5 came out in like 2008, 9. It's like I
wouldn't say Assassin's Creed is moving forward. No, I think that's the problem. It's like you just start
the modern day
in like
stuff,
all kinds of weird directions. That it's like, I think that's one of the issues is that you have no progression.
Yeah, and I guess too with Assassin's Creed, it's like we're in that Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla era where they all kind of feel the same. Whereas Resident Evil, it was nice to get like a first-person one in the future, and then like going back into the past, and it's third person. Like, I don't know. It's a nuanced conversation, but I do like when things end.
I think part of the nuance is also like striking a balance about like realizing how soon is too soon, how fast is too fast for some of these things that you hit a point of saturation. Like specifically Star Wars, like I don't think that was from. I'm not the biggest fan, but like from what I enjoyed of the OG trilogy and even like the prequel trilogy, understanding you might not like those films, but they still were wildly successful. They're meant to be like events, like they take your time, let it cook, and like when you have too much of this, I know people love it, but it's like sometimes you can't have too much of a good thing because then it just like kind of ruins it, becomes common and dilutes it. So
that's how I feel about the MCU. I know bringing it up is so triggering for everyone because it's like somehow it's become this all or nothing thing, like the internet, right? It's like, well, if you criticize it, then you hate it. It's like the immune to criticism argument, and it's like, well, I still like it, but like, how can you argue that it just hasn't lost some impact by just it being every week?
Yeah, it's gotten huge. I also think there's a bit of a fear that like you got to push as hard as you can now because it's not going to last forever. Like they'll probably approach a point where it's like, all right, it's time to scale everything back, and like these crazy ideas. I know it seems like a lot, but like they're trying to do so much. But that's also the effect of it. Like it is overwhelming, and like man, it doesn't feel as special. But like Resident Evil, I think like it's still. It could possibly come out too soon, too fast, but like they've at least spaced these out, and at least with the fast pace recently, it's been a remake, then an original, a remake, and an original.
Exactly.
So like you're
exactly.
not like
It alleviates it a little bit.
They have been alternating. So like the movie.
Okay, I'm going like crazy.
Yeah, like 7 and 8 were like okay, well they were several years apart.
Yeah,
but like
and
2
after 6, several years.
And now we're getting like 4, and then like who knows when like 9 will come out? So it'll probably be like 2 or 3 years after that. So yeah, you just gotta make sure like they're spaced out properly, and then. Not doing like it would be weird. Like here's where it gets too much. Huber, like reverse to me is too much. It's like stop. You don't need that.
Pump it. Pump the brakes.
Giving us everything other than what we want. Outbreak,
movie, Netflix, anime.
Exactly. Like that's where I think for me, like they run the risk. Is like I don't really need these movies. I don't need this stuff. Like these games are enough for me. Like and like that's where you. Yeah.
It's also like a history is written by the victors, kind of a thing where it's like the good ones were like, oh, I'm so glad they did Better Call Saul. Whereas like when that came out, we were all like, Breaking Bad is perfect. What the hell are you doing? You know? And then it's like, well, when they brought back X-Files, it sucked. And we were like, nobody asked for this, And it's like, so it's always just like, or Jurassic Park, right? Like,
oh gosh,
it's like stop because they're bad. If they were good, we'd be like sick.
Yeah, keep them going. You're right, and that's the Resident Evil case.
You can never know. Right? It's like I'm thrilled for more Resident Evil games. Oh, Don's on the phone.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, Don.
He could feel me.
It's okay. Isla apologizes.
I'm sorry, Don. I'm sorry. But so it's like it's kind of a thing where it's like
great point.
Fate is just looking back and saying everything led to this point.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I do think that's a big part of it, right? Because like you look at the original Star Wars, you look at the original Jurassic Park, and you look at it like they raised the bar.
Yeah.
They're groundbreaking films, in like every sense of the term.
Yeah.
And then you put out something that's like just more or not as good, and it's like, what are you even doing? But because people remember the groundbreaking, like, well, it's still kind of suckers for it.
Right, when the originator is like an earth-shattering classic, and then the follow-up is just decent. It's like good, that it looks bad.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues with like some of the Marvel shows and stuff. It's like, it's like, okay, here are these characters I like, and what are you doing? You cheaped out on the CG because... Oh, it's a TV show budget, I guess, but why have something that would require this much CG if you don't have the budget for it?
They treat their VFX artists like trash, too, and give them unrealistic dates, so it's also part of it.
Just put on makeup. God.
Like, it's pretty wild that there's only been one Bloodborne. You know what I mean? Protect it. Savor it. Like, we want more Bloodborne, right?
Bloodborne 2, though. Bloodborne 2.
We want it. We want Bloodborne 2. We want Bloodborne PC, but, like...
Even if it was just a 9, Even if it was just a 9, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
With Bloodborne 2.
Just a 9.
Just a 9.
From Kenny Cole. Hello, everyone. I've been enjoying my time with Walkabout Mini Golf. So much so that I barely touched any other game in my VR library. Recently, they've started adding courses I never could have hoped to predict. Their last course was based on Jim Henson's Labyrinth.
Whoa.
Wow.
Their upcoming course is based on Myst.
I heard of this.
Whoa. That's you, Isla.
Yeah, Isla. What is this game?
I have never heard of it. I'm not definitely considering a Myst tattoo.
And they've just announced their following 3 courses would be based on the novels of Jules Verne.
Wow. Yo.
My question is
Doc
this.
Brown, that's you.
What are the best examples of video game crossovers you would never expect but ended up working incredibly well?
Fortnite. Everything they do with their mobile. That's a lie. Excuse me.
This man's coughing.
Sorry.
This man's coughing.
There's something in my throat. It's not. I like inhaled some dust.
Release the gas.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Back to formula.
Back to formula. I really liked the Thanos, the Endgame tie-in in Fortnite. That was kind of to me, that was one of the big
terrifying
catalysts of this insanity. Just being able to get the gauntlet and laser beam people and find Thor's axe and. God, it was crazy. I never thought of that.
It's too bad Kingdom Hearts didn't pan out.
Oh, yes. Winner.
tale as old as time one now for me is Mario and Rabbids. Just how unlikely that was.
That was the
Hell
one I was
yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Like just everything about that leak made it sound like the worst idea ever. And
So
then,
bad.
Yep, that was quite a 180 on that.
Not a game, but I have to shout out Roger Rabbit here.
Oh,
The greatest crossover of all time.
Roger Rabbit.
I mean, just even like, we take it for granted now, but freaking Smash Brothers.
Smash.
N64,
Sure,
like the
yeah.
idea of like Link beating up Pikachu, like what?
Or like getting Solid Snake in
Hey,
there. Like, that
you
still
told me
blows my mind.
was it we're streaming no Pikachu with a gun or whatever? What we were talking about that on chat on
If
Mike and Mike.
Shadow would have a gun?
Yeah, but Shadow would have a gun.
if they
Pikachu
would
would have
have
a gun in
Pokemon
Smash,
in
though.
Fortnite, is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
Pokemon Fortnite.
Pokemon in Fortnite.
Pikachu wields a gun in
Pokemon-
Smash Brothers. What are you talking about?
There you go.
What are you talking about? There you go.
Here he has a gun.
Pokemon's coming to Fortnite.
Perfect.
Oh, good times. From Chris Irely.
What? Does Castlevania ever cross over with anything?
What?
Castlevania? Has there ever been a Castlevania crossover?
Castlevania's crossed over with itself a few times.
It had Judgment had the guest collaborator.
Gabby
the-
points out it's in Smash.
Yeah, Death
It is in
Note.
Smash.
Death Note animated drew the characters for that one.
Okay.
But
Cool.
It's not really crossover.
Because I was thinking of like Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or when they do like Alien versus
there
Predator.
is.
And
It's called Captain N.
Yes,
N.
that's right.
It's called Captain N.
The TV show. Captain
Yeah?
N, the Game Master.
Simon
yeah.
Belmont
Simon
shows
Belmont's
up
in
with
there.
with Kid Kid Icarus, Mega Man,
Sick.
Game Boy.
so sick.
Love Brain is in
Cool,
there.
cool,
King
cool,
Hippo's
cool.
in there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is that show?
Captain N the Game
Captain
Master.
N, the Game Master. That was like, the Saturday morning cartoons. That was back when the Super Mario Brothers first show.
Basically, Captain-
I
cartoon
have
was.
those, and I love that.
Yeah.
Captain
show.
is basically Brad.
cool.
Yeah,
I see it
he
now.
like runs around with a zapper.
Dude.
Like, he's like cool, very
Sick.
cool.
Cool guy, Brad.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at a wiki. A lot of them are like tiny things. Like, there's a minor reference to Castlevania and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the SNES.
Yo!
Zombies Ate My
'Cause
Neighbors
Konami.
features Vlad Belmont the Vampire. It's like stuff like that. There are
Nice,
a
nice.
lot of like references.
Just
They're more like-
little things.
Yeah,
here
they're more
and
like
there.
references. Yeah.
It's time for bets. This week's bet. Next week, Saints Row is coming out. It's been a long time coming. I'm going to go. Next week, at this time, I'm going to go to Twitch's category listing. What rank will Saints Row place overall on Twitch? For instance, last night, GTA 5 was in first place at 331,000 viewers, while Cult of the Lamb was in 13th place with 38,000. So, what
GTA.
rank will it be, including like the art and just chatting and all of that fun stuff?
Where was Red Dead?
Nowhere.
I didn't write down everything. I'm sure it was somewhere, but I don't know. So yeah, Huber, what do you think Saints Row will be next week?
4.
4. High up there.
Yeah. Open world shenanigans, dude. Twitch loves it. Twitch loves open world
Good
shenanigans.
stuff. Damiani. 4. There we go.
Doubling down
doing
on
this.
4.
Doubling it up. Isla, where you at?
6th.
6. That's a good place to be, I think.
Glad you approve.
I'm at 14. I probably went a little
Holy
too low.
crap.
Okay.
Don't even believe the Cold Lamb.
Last week's bet.
So wait, if Damian, if it is 4, that means the other team would get 2 points next.
Yes, we'll get to those rules here in a second. Last week's bet, Grind It Up, Rollerdrome came out this Tuesday.
Nice.
I love that you just wrote "grind it up" in here, and you just wanted to say it.
Yeah, I said it last week too.
I know it's literally written in the rundown.
Love it.
I think it's cute. It's
It is.
cute that you wrote "grind it up,"
That is
and you've
cute.
said it every single time.
Grind it up.
Anyway,
Do it.
Oh. So if you're not aware, Rollerdrome basically combines skating and shooting, and the first arena has a big bowl essentially, and we wanted to see how long we could grind that bowl before we got shot down. And so we had Gabby do it because Gabby is a neutral participant. And so no shooting, no dodging, just grinding until the enemies get you. Brad bet 40 seconds. Damiani bet 37 seconds. Isla bet 1 minute 12 seconds. And I bet 1 minute 12 seconds.
That's hilarious.
And so, and then again, as Gabby being the neutral there, she got on that bowl and she grinded and she grinded and she grinded, but she could grind all day
So it was Max.
because nobody was going to attack until she got rid of that first wave of enemies.
Because they're all melee.
They're all
She wasn't
melee, just
close
hanging
enough.
out in the center, and she was circling around them. They didn't come over to her.
Wow.
So we went to a minute 40 and we called it. So nothing's gonna happen here.
There it is.
So, and then we also had Gabby determined, like, oh, do we get 1 point or 2 points? Because both of us bet. So she says we both get a point there.
Heck yeah.
So
Thanks, Gabby.
Thank you, Gabby. I approve.
Historically, I think that's how.
I think that might be how we've done
it
in the
has been,
past.
too. We did also have.
we
her
just did
check-
whatever Kyle said.
We did whatever we wanted. We also had Gabby check. She cleared that wave to see
Yeah.
how long it would have taken. And I don't know exactly, but it was pretty fast with the sniper.
Yeah, once
the
it was
sniper
it was
wave,
like
it was
20
quick.
seconds.
I thought we were all going to be really high after
Yeah.
we played the game. I was like, oh man, it's going to be
with
like
the
over in
snipers
10
there,
seconds.
it was like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch that clip at the very end of this podcast. But the winners are me and Isla.
Woo!
Crossovers. Sorry, never mind.
Historically long
Grind it up.
syndrome on that one.
Metal Gear and Ape Escape.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So that brings our scores to Massive Chubbs 15, Splish. The Loderous Sea Lions 16.
Closing that Dawn gap.
Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. First of all, thank you to everybody who jumped in the past week, raising those pledges, pledging for the first time or returning pledges as we heard from some
thank
of
you.
our love and respect submitters. Definitely helps out a lot. We need your support to keep this operation running, so please consider becoming a patron. That's how we do everything that we do. That's how we pay ourselves. That's how we pay
Yep.
our bills. That's how we get waters.
That's how we survive.
That's how we get toilet paper. Yes, everything that we do is because of your support. So please consider becoming a patron and paying not just for yourself, but for all the folks who cannot pay for whatever reason. We have different tiers. At the $1 tier, you get this version with 2 extra love and respect. You get this with an ad-free version, this podcast with an ad-free version, with 2 extra love and respect questions. We had a very long, spirited debate on reviews and such.
It was 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So you
Damiani's
can-
passion. I love it.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
You can get in there, get that for just $1 a month, and $5 a month gets you early access. You get to submit to Love and Respect. You get to submit to our new opening game, and you get access to our Discord. A lot of other things, but the Discord's really fun. People dropping news in there, so that's a place I look for tips for things we might want to talk about. So yeah, get in on that Discord. And if you are in communities where people haven't been checking in for a while, and you know they've liked Easy Allies in the past, get in there, recommend it, get everybody that you
Go to
can
MinMax.
watching this thing.
Tell them about Easy Allies.
Yeah.
Get
Oh,
in Ben Hansen's
Ben Hansen
Discord.
tells people about us already.
Get in Ben Hansen's damn Discord. Tell him about Easy Ally.
Sorry.
Go tell Maximilian dudes people about us too.
The top levels of our Patreon get shout outs on this podcast and some of our other shows. This month's shout outs go to Javawabs, El Thanis, Greg, The Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb, Togi Crawford, and Anna Croft. Shout out.
Shout out.
Wow.
All right. Isla, you and I won, so we get to split
Woo!
the duties. We get to promote any Easy Allies video we would like to promote. We get a final word. We get to sign off. Which 2 of those would you want, Isla?
Well, I want to sign off,
Okay.
and I want to promote A video? Unless you have a video you want to promote.
I have a video. I have no idea what a final word I would have.
Okay, you do the video then.
Okay. Watch my Soul Hackers 2 impressions.
Oh.
Yeah. Sat down, talked about that with Brad. Don't play a lot of SMT games, but you know, I know Ben was very excited when Soul Hackers 2 got announced, and I want to put some time in, check it out.
Oh yeah.
I may or may not still do a review on that game. There's some time. It's not out yet, so I'm gonna play some more, but get my thoughts so far in that video.
My final thought. This is an update from an ad read a few weeks ago.
Okay.
The fish that I couldn't remember, Tokyo Slim tweeted at me, just completely out of context, just the word barramundi. And then I'm like, what? And he goes, was it a barramundi? And I was
that
like,
fish.
oh, yes, it was. I was like, what are you talking about? So it was a barramundi fish.
Nice. We had one of those at Lazy Dog when I worked there. It's so good.
Lazy dog.
Lazy Dog.
I just hit my elbow on my phone and it hurts. Good night and good game.
Top 10 profit margins.
What? Top 10 profit margin?
What?
Yeah, so the practice run has made this real fun, but Gabby's gonna grind this bowl, and we're gonna see how long it takes for her to get taken out. Starting the timer as soon as she starts grinding.
I'm gonna go to the
Yep.
side. Okay. What's the high?
Like a minute 12
The
or
minute
something?
minute 12 was the high, which Isla and I both
So does that
bet
mean-
the same thing. Does that mean that's another question? I think it's probably still just 1 point, but if you
In the past, they've done
2.
2.
you think that they've done 2?
If two people both win,
Gabby's
they
the
get-
impartial,
If two
so
people both
it's
win,
up to
they
her.
both got points, I think, in the past.
Oh. We're at a minute.
50 on
Yeah,
the grind.
50 from when you started the grind.
Oh, you're right.
But it definitely feels like they're never going to attack you until you shoot them
No.
first.
Well, even when you shoot them first, they don't do it because they just have bats. And they don't move from there.
What do they call these guys? The house players?
Yeah.
House players being easy on you.
Well, that's more than 112.
Yep. Yeah, it does not look like anyone will aggro whatsoever at this point. So funny. But that's why we like bets like this. You never know what's gonna happen.
know.
Yeah, you never know. Could be instant.
I thought for
Take
sure
forever.
there would be a sniper.
Do I have to keep?
No, I think we're good. I think we've proved it's infinite. 140. Yeah, so you've killed one now. But I think you have to kill the set before anyone else shows up.
Yeah, even after killing 2 of them.
There they
There's
are.
the sniper.
Oh,
There's the
shit.
sniper.
I'm curious now to see how
Yeah,
long
I
it'll
just wanna
take
see
before
that.
you...
Yeah, was it like 212? It wouldn't have taken
It
long.
wouldn't have been long if there was actually people shooting at you. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it would have taken like 20 seconds otherwise. Funny.
That's not the bet.